the school beauty's personal bodyguard. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1001 New Transfer Student. Why would I be jealous of him? You like him now, and you've stopped bothering me. I'm so happy, Lin Yi said nonchalantly. Who said I like him? Why would I like him? Pengzhan Group shook her head. He might be handsome, but he's destined to be a supporting character. In novels and TV series, he's a tragic character. Oh, Lin Yi was slightly taken aback, looking at Pengzhan Group in surprise. Have you seen Slam Dunk? Isn't Rukalkid very handsome? But he's destined to be a supporting character, Pengzhan Group said. Look, you might not be as handsome as him, but you're like Sakuragi Hanamichi. How? Lin Yi didn't expect Pengzhan Group's theory to be so interesting, and couldn't help but be amused by her. So, I still like you, Pengzhan Group said. Lin Yi said nothing, simply watching Ziyu Feng on the stage with interest. Ziyu Feng? What was the reason for transferring here at this time? If he said that Ziyu Feng had no ulterior motive for transferring here, Lin Yi would never believe it. Don't forget, Lin Yi has a special golden finger that allows him to sense the strength of an internal martial arts master. Even when this internal martial arts master isn't practicing the mantra to display his power, Lin Yi can still sense their strength. What Lin Yi found most incredible was that Ziyu Feng actually possessed internal martial arts skills at the peak of the early Zhuan stage. Was this person merely here to study? Then this master was too cheap, wasn't he? Could just anyone be a master? But what shocked Lin Yi was Yu Feng's youth. He looked only around 19, yet he already possessed the skills of an early Zhuan stage peak, almost as strong as himself. After all, Lin Yi had only recently advanced several levels, reaching the mid-stage Zhuan stage. Ziyu Feng, Lin Yi silently memorized the name. Regardless of his motive, as long as he didn't provoke him, it would be easy to deal with. But if he did, don't blame him for being rude. Ziyu Feng continued to introduce himself on the stage, but Pengzhan Group seemed unimpressed. After a brief compliment, she didn't even spare him a second glance. Turning back to Lin Yi, she said, I think you're still more handsome. Lin Yi, I'll definitely make you my boyfriend. What about Tang Yun? Lin Yi retorted. She's the first wife, and I'm the second wife, Pengzhan Group replied. Isn't that fine? It won't affect anything. Lin Yi was speechless. Why did this girl resemble Chen Yushu? Both of them were mischievous. Lin Yi thought carefully and realized that, aside from their different personalities, they did have some things in common. Meanwhile, Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu, who were standing in front of him, were also discussing Ziyu Feng. As teacher Liu was introducing the new students, Chu Mengyao looked up and glanced at the three new students on the podium, her eyes devoid of any emotion, as if simply acknowledging them. She gave Ziyu Feng, Li Pangu, and Wang Kongming the same gaze, not lingering on any of their faces for too long. After reading it, Chu Mengyao withdrew her gaze and focused on the English book at hand. Sister Yao, look, that Ziyu Feng is quite handsome, Chen Yushu said. Oh, so you don't like your wriggly brother anymore? Chu Mengyao asked with a slight smile. How is that possible? Chen Yushu shook her head. Can handsomeness be eaten? Wriggly brother can grill shark meat for me, so I still like wriggly brother. Haha. Chu Mengyao was amused by Chen Yushu. I thought you had fallen in love with someone else. I'm just your concubine. If Sister Yao hasn't fallen in love with someone else, how could I? Chen Yushu said. Oh, Chu Mengyao responded meaninglessly, not knowing what she meant. On the stage, Ziyu Feng had already finished his self-introduction and was once again greeted with warm applause. He slightly turned aside to let Li Pangu and Wang Kongming come forward. My name is Li Pangu, and I'm Mr. Zi's bodyguard. Li Pangu did not hide his identity at all, and he just shook his fat body and said loudly. My name is Wang Kongming, and I'm Mr. Zi's military advisor. Wang Kongming also briefly introduced himself, and did not hide his identity at all. These two people transferred here with Ziyu Feng, and their purpose was very simple, that is, to be Ziyu Feng's followers, and to run errands for him if there was anything. Wow, there was an exclamation from the audience. These days, it is not uncommon for a rich family's eldest son to appear in a private school like No. 1 high school, but it is rare to see a rich family's eldest son bringing two followers with him. Moreover, these two followers did not hide their identities as followers, which made the female classmates in the class a little envious. This is the eldest son of a rich family, with bodyguards and military advisors following him whenever he goes out. It's so cool, and such a situation can only appear in those popular Hong Kong and Taiwan dramas. Sister Yao, he also has followers, but his followers are nothing like Brother Arrow. They are just two idiots. Chen Yushu directly gave an evaluation of Li Pangu and Wang Kongming. Maybe some people just like to go out with two idiots. Chu Mengyao was not very interested in whether Ziyu Feng had followers or not. It had nothing to do with her. Teacher Liu, the head teacher, frowned after listening to the introduction of Li Pangu and Wang Kongming. He didn't know what the background of this Ziyu Feng was. He just heard that he was introduced by a relative of the school. He was very well known and his family was very powerful, but he didn't know what he did specifically. But Teacher Liu felt that it was a bit too much for him to go to school with two followers, a bodyguard and a military advisor. You know, the chairman's daughter Chu Mengyao also went to school in the same class, and she didn't do anything special, such as going to school with bodyguards and military advisors. In fact, the eldest lady also has a bodyguard and a military advisor, but the bodyguard is Lin Yi, whose identity is not public, and the military advisor is Chen Yushu. Under the podium, Zhong Pinliang and Gao Xiaofu were also analyzing the origins of Ziyu Feng. Brother Liang, what is the origin of this Ziyu Feng? Why does he bring two followers with him? Isn't this suddenly overshadowing you, Brother Liang? Gao Xiaofu said, a little unhappy. In the past, he and Gao Xiaofu were Zhong Pinliang's right-hand men in the class. Although Lin Yi's arrival made them much weaker than before, they were still very powerful in front of most classmates. However, when Ziyu Feng came, he directly overshadowed Zhong Pinliang's brilliance, which made Gao Xiaofu a little unhappy. Chapter 1002 Singing Competition. Who cares about his background? It has nothing to do with us, Zhong Pinliang said calmly. Let him act like the boss if he wants. As long as he doesn't mess with us, let him do it. Oh? Brother Liang, why are you so calm now? Gao Xiaofu was slightly taken aback after hearing Zhong Pinliang's words. Striving for the title of villain or boss is just childish. Zhong Pinliang waved his hand and said, we're mature now. We don't do that anymore. Real great people are all very low-key. Oh, I see. Gao Xiaofu nodded quickly. We'll just watch from the sidelines. If Ziyu Feng can match up with Lin Yi, that's great. If not, it's none of our business, Zhong Pinliang said calmly. Okay, the three of you will sit at the right back of the classroom for now. Teacher Liu pointed to the back right of the class and said, there's an empty table there. Since you three know each other, just sit together. I'll arrange it later if a suitable seat becomes available. Teacher Liu had originally wanted to put Ziyu Feng at the front, but seeing that they clearly didn't look like they were there to study, Teacher Liu gave them a cold shoulder. However, Ziyu Feng and the other two were clearly not picky and didn't mind where they sat. Teacher Liu instructed them to sit at the right back of the classroom, and Ziyu Feng politely nodded. Okay, teacher. Seeing that Ziyu Feng didn't object and was respectful, Teacher Liu's impression of him improved slightly. He thought, perhaps this was just a servant assigned to him by Ziyu Feng's family, and had nothing to do with him personally. Lin Yi glanced at Ziyu Feng, noticing that he wasn't looking his way. Instead, he shook his head. Was he being too cautious? However, just as Lin Yi retracted his gaze, Ziyu Feng's eyes shot towards Lin Yi. For a split second, he retracted his gaze and continued walking forward, arriving at his own seat. Just how strong was Lin Yi's sixth sense? Even Ziyu Feng's fleeting glance had caught on. Ziyu Feng had just looked at him. Why was he looking at him? Was it because he was looking at him? You know, the perception of a Xuan-level master is incredibly strong. Lin Yi looked at Ziyu Feng, and as long as he wasn't deliberately hiding it, Ziyu Feng would definitely be able to sense that Lin Yi had looked at him. It was normal for him to look back. Okay, after introducing the new students, I have one more thing to announce. Teacher Liu waited until Ziyu Feng, Li Pangu, and Wang Kongming were seated before continuing, in order to relieve everyone's study pressure, add some fun to the boring study life of senior high school, and let everyone relax appropriately. The school has decided to hold a singing competition in the senior year. First, the competition will be held within the class, and the winners will enter the grade finals. Of course, this activity is not mandatory. Students who are interested in this area can sign up, They can sing solo or in a group. Those who can't sing can also be in the audience. Of course, it doesn't matter if you are tone deaf, you can also rap. Aren't rappers popular now? Teacher Liu's words actually drew laughter from the classmates. The study life of senior high school is indeed boring, so occasional small activities will make everyone excited. Singing competitions were a common occurrence at school during the art festivals of freshman and sophomore years. Back then, they didn't seem to mind much. But once they entered their senior year, the intense academic schedule suddenly made many students feel overwhelmed, and the few group activities they had seemed incredibly precious. Therefore, Teacher Liu's words immediately resonated with a majority of the students, who cheered enthusiastically. Everyone can practice singing in the evenings when they're tired from studying. While it's just for fun, it's also a great honor to win a place in your grade group, Teacher Liu said. I hope everyone will sign up. The top 10 students in your grade group will receive a school scholarship of 1,000 to 10,000 yuan. Wow, the news of a prize escalated everyone's excitement. While there were certainly some wealthy students at Songshan First High School, the vast majority had gotten in based on their academic performance. For these students, a 10,000 yuan scholarship seemed like a lot. If you could win 10,000 yuan just for singing, it was a great deal. So, some students, who had been waiting to see what was going on, were now eager to sign up. Sister Yao, are we joining the singing competition? Chen Yushu asked. Of course, Chu Mengyao nodded. Let's go back and practice singing. Chu Mengyao's father was a school trustee, and as the daughter of a wealthy family, it was natural for her to support and participate in all the school's activities. So, for every art festival, sports meet, and other events, Chu Mengyao signed up. She didn't want to be criticized, her position was a sensitive one, so she had to set an example. It's not good to stay home. We don't have a karaoke bar at home. Let's go to a karaoke bar to practice singing. Chen Yushu was more playful and wanted to go out whenever she could. KTV? Chu Mengyao hesitated, but Chen Yushu was right. The karaoke system at home was installed during renovations, and they rarely used it. The repertoire hadn't been updated, and they didn't know if it would still work. So, Chen Yushu's suggestion of going to a karaoke bar was the easiest way to practice singing. However, Chu Mengyao had heard that KTVs were a mixed bag, with some members of society frequenting them. She thought it wouldn't be safe for her and Xiaoshu to go together, so she said, then let's get Lin Yi along. Send him a text and ask if he's free tonight. Oh, sure. Even before Chu Mengyao mentioned it, Chen Yushu was also planning to take Lin Yi along. By the way, let's bring Tang Yun along too. Chu Mengyao felt it would be awkward to bring Lin Yi without Tang Yun, so she urged Xiaoshu. Take Tang Yun, okay? Chen Yushu nodded reluctantly. She had subconsciously always considered Tang Yun a rival, but Sister Yao's sudden acceptance of her made her feel a little uncomfortable. At that moment, Lin Yi was discussing a singing competition with Feng Xiaoxiao. Lin Yi, are you entering? Feng Xiaoxiao asked. I can't sing, Lin Yi said calmly. No? I'll teach you. I can sing. Then we can form a group, Feng Xiaoxiao suggested. Not interested, Lin Yi said lightly. Chapter 1003 Certified. It wasn't that Lin Yi wasn't interested, he simply couldn't sing. As for singing, Lin Yi had only heard his old man hum a few songs from the 70s and 80s. He had never heard any current pop songs before, so much so that he didn't even know who the superstar Su Shihan was. So, Lin Yi simply hadn't planned on signing up for any singing competitions. How about, Sister Tang Yun and the three of us forming a singing group? Feng Xiaoxiao continued to tempt Lin Yi. Look, you have two beautiful women, both big and small. How great is that? Oh, then ask Yunayan. Lin Yi felt that he had rejected enough and it was time to compromise. This job of pretending to be someone else's boyfriend was a real challenge. He couldn't let Feng Xiaoxiao know he was a fake, and he had to gradually accept her. Honestly, for Lin Yi, it was more difficult than leveling up his martial arts skills. Fortunately, Lin Yi didn't have any feelings for Feng Xiaoxiao. At least during his time in Yanjing, he had gained a new appreciation for this quirky young woman. Lin Yi didn't say anything in response to Feng Xiaoxiao's declaration of love. This was largely because he didn't know Feng Xiaoxiao's true intentions, and fearing she might hurt Tang Yun, he ignored her. But now that Tang Yun knew the truth, and Lin Yi was just following orders to pick up girls, looking back at Feng Xiaoxiao, Lin Yi thought she was still quite adorable. At least she was straightforward and responsible. Although she sometimes acted a bit mischievous, Lin Yi could understand her pitiful background. "I'll text her right away," Pengzhan, upon hearing Lin Yi's agreement, happily pulled out her phone and prepared to text Tang Yun. However, before her message was sent, Lin Yi's message came in first. Lin Yi opened the text and saw it was from Chen Yushu. "Brother Arrow, Sister Yao and I are going to KTV to practice singing tonight. Can you come protect us? We can bring family members." Bring family members? Lin Yi couldn't help but smile when he saw Chen Yushu's message. It was rare for the eldest lady and Xiaoshu to have changed their attitudes towards Tang Yun, at least they weren't as hostile as before. That was a good thing. Xiaoshu's question was polite, but Lin Yi had no reason to refuse, so he replied, "Okay, who sent you a message?" Pengzhan paused, thinking it was Tang Yun who was sending Lin Yi a message. "Chen Yushu," Lin Yi said. "She asked me to accompany them to KTV to practice singing tonight, then I'll go too," Pengzhan said quickly. Lin Yi thought for a moment. Since the eldest lady agreed to let Lin Yi bring someone, Pengzhan wouldn't need to be alone. So he nodded and said, "Okay, you send Tang Yun a message." "Okay, I'll send her a message right away," Pengzhan said happily when she saw Lin Yi agreed. The singing competition was organized for the entire senior year, so Teacher Liu in Lin Yi's class was notifying everyone about it, and Tang Yun's class was also notifying them. Tang Yun received a text from Pengzhan saying she and Lin Yi were going to KTV to practice singing that evening. Without a second thought, she agreed. After all, Tang Yun wanted to give Pengzhan more opportunities to interact with Lin Yi. Who knew what her future would hold? Lin Yi, Sister Tang Yun agreed. "She's coming with us," Pengzhan said excitedly. She hadn't expected Tang Yun to accept her so easily. Now it seemed that as long as she put in some effort, she wouldn't have to worry about Lin Yi disliking her. "What did you and Yun talk about? Were you and her on bad terms before?" Lin Yi asked. "You don't understand friendship between girls," Pengzhan replied perfunctorily. After hearing Pengzhan's words, Lin Yi didn't ask any further questions. He knew this was Tang Yun's initiative, but he could only feign ignorance. If he wasn't even slightly curious, there would be a problem. After evening study, Lin Yi was about to call the eldest daughter to ask where they were going, but he saw that the eldest daughter and Chen Yushu had already packed their bags and turned to look at Lin Yi. Lin Yi had been driving Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu to school the past few days, so there was no need to deliberately hide the relationship between them. Lin Yi put down the phone and walked towards them, with Pengzhan following closely behind Lin Yi. "Where are we going tonight?" Lin Yi asked the eldest lady after walking over. "I don't know. Do you know any good KTVs?" Chu Mengyao had never been to such places before. "Then let's just look around," Lin Yi said. "Last time when we went to play billiards, there seemed to be a KTV next door, then let's go there." Chu Mengyao nodded, then looked at Xiaoshu. "Oh, Brother Arrow, have you brought your family members?" Chen Yushu remembered that Chu Mengyao had asked her to let Lin Yi bring Tang Yun. "Yes, I have. The family members are here." Before Lin Yi could say anything, Pengzhan raised her hand and said, "You?" Chen Yushu's eyes widened as she stared at Pengzhan, who had suddenly appeared. She asked with some confusion, "I'm looking for Brother Arrow's family." "Who are you?" "I'm his family." "You're the onion, you're the garlic," Pengzhan said, a little dissatisfied, glaring at Chen Yushu. "You? Whose family are you?" Chen Yushu was stunned. She had no idea why Pengzhan had come out. Chu Mengyao was also puzzled at this moment. Why did Pengzhan get together with Lin Yi and claim to be Lin Yi's family? However, as a young lady, she usually wouldn't say anything unless she was forced into a corner by Tang Yun, like she was at Fatty Lai's house last time. "I'm Lin Yi's concubine." Pengzhan looked at Chen Yushu with some pride. "Huh? Your Brother Arrow's concubine? Impossible, I'm Brother Arrow's concubine." Chen Yushu glared at Pengzhan. "You? Aren't you just the best friend of Lin Yi's employer? Why are you pretending to be a concubine? Have you gotten recognition from Lin Yi, or from Lin Yi's first wife, Sister Tang Yun?" Pengzhan looked at Chen Yushu with a teasing look, sarcastically asking. "Sister Yao is Brother Arrow's first wife, and I'm just a concubine. Do I need recognition?" Chen Yushu said unyieldingly. Then whose recognition did you get? I'm a concubine certified by Sister Tang Yun. Pengzhan snorted. What about you? You haven't gotten recognition, have you? Even if you do, you're still a fake concubine. I'm certified by Brother Arrow, and you're a fake concubine. You're an A-grade concubine. Chen Yushu also snorted. If you don't believe me, ask Brother Arrow. Lin Yi, is this silly girl your concubine? Pengzhan pointed at Chen Yushu and asked Lin Yi. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 1004, Tit for Tat. Brother Arrow, is this silly girl your little wife? Chen Yushu looked at Lin Yi pitifully and asked. This, Lin Yi smiled bitterly. He didn't expect that Tang Yun and Pengzhan didn't have a fight, but Chen Yushu and Pengzhan had a fight first. Chen Yushu is quirky, and Pengzhan is quirky. The two of them are like tit for tat, neither of them willing to give in. They started arguing in the classroom before even getting to the KTV. However, just when Lin Yi was in a dilemma, someone came to his rescue. That person was Ziyu Feng. At this moment, Ziyu Feng walked up to the class podium, and Li Pangu and Wang Kongming followed him. Everyone, be quiet. Young Master Zhu wants to say a few words to everyone, Li Pangu said first. The classmates in the class were a little curious about Ziyu Feng, the new transfer student. Hearing that he had something to say, the classmates who were packing their bags to get ready for school also looked up and looked at Ziyu Feng. Hello, classmates. I'm new in this class and there's nothing I can do for you. It just so happened that the school is organizing a singing competition. I'm going to invite you all to KTV to practice singing tonight. I hope you'll come, Ziyu Feng said to the classmates in the audience very elegantly, as if he was not inviting others to practice singing, but as if others were giving him face by practicing singing. It must be said that Ziyu Feng is very good at dealing with people. This made everyone instinctively have a good impression of him. After Ziyu Feng finished speaking, his eyes looked around the class, without stopping on anyone, but what he was mainly concerned about was the movements around Lin Yi. Seeing three beauties surrounding Lin Yi, he couldn't help but feel a little unhappy. There were a total of 3 beauties in the class, and all of them seemed to have some relationship with Lin Yi, which made Ziyu Feng very dissatisfied. Wherever he went, he was the focus of everyone, and there was an endless stream of beauties throwing themselves at him, but here, because of Lin Yi's presence, it seemed that there were some changes. Ziyu Feng, the Yu Feng of the Yu family, had come here simply to add a surname before Yu Feng. Li Pangu and Wang Kongming were also casually chosen names. Their true identities were the sons of the Yu family's servants. Yu Feng's purpose in coming to Songshan City was to find out more about Lin Yi, but he didn't want to come in vain. He wanted to have some fun. The Yu family's strict upbringing meant Yu Feng had few opportunities to pick up girls. Although he had had beautiful women flirt with him at school, fearing his father would find out, he didn't dare to go too far, only engaging in occasional one-night stands. Now in Songshan City, far from home, Yu Feng was eager to have some fun, especially since he noticed so many beautiful women in his class. Of course, Yu Feng had already chosen 2 targets. One was Chu Pengzhan's daughter, Chu Mengyao. If he could have her, it would be like indirectly venting Yu Kun's anger. The other target, of course, was Lin Yi's girlfriend. Although Yu Feng still didn't know who Lin Yi's girlfriend was, it didn't matter. He'd get any girl close to Lin Yi. While he couldn't confront Lin Yi head-on, accusing him of being a cuckold was a good way to start. Ziyu Feng's words resonated with many people, both boys and girls. Going out for fun and relaxing without spending any money wasn't a bad idea. Ziyu Feng was disappointed to find out that Lin Yi, Chu Mengyao, Chen Yushu, and Pengzhan weren't among the students who came to join him for karaoke. Through Wang Kongming's inquiries, Ziyu Feng already knew who Chu Mengyao, Chen Yushu, and Pengzhan were. While Chu Mengyao actively participated in school activities, she naturally had no interest in the folk activities organized by her classmates. She wasn't familiar with Ziyu Feng, so she naturally wouldn't go to karaoke with him. Alright, Zia Oshu, stop arguing. Chu Mengyao gave Pengzhan a meaningful look. She didn't know when she'd become Lin Yi's mistress again, but she kept claiming to be Tang Yun's certified wife, which made her a little confused. Tang Yun, would she let Feng Xiaoxiao become Lin Yi's concubine? This seemed unbelievable to Chu Mengyao. Feng Xiaoxiao hadn't been to school for a while, and Chu Mengyao had almost forgotten about her. She didn't think Feng Xiaoxiao and Tang Yun had anything in common, so this was very strange. Seeing Lin Yi's expression of neither admitting nor denying, the eldest lady felt a little uncomfortable. If Lin Yi hadn't risked his life to save her, the eldest lady might have turned hostile on the spot. But she didn't. She simply told Xiaoshu to be quiet. Sister Yao, this Feng Xiaoxiao is suspicious. I suspect she has ulterior motives. We can't take her with us. Chen Yushu looked at Feng Xiaoxiao with hostility. This girl was trying to steal her position as concubine, so how could she let her succeed? Forget it, let's go find Tang Yun first. Chu Mengyao felt that it was pointless for Chen Yushu to argue with Feng Xiaoxiao now. After meeting Tang Yun, Feng Xiaoxiao's true intentions became clear. Well, then, let you pretend to be the mistress for a while and enjoy yourself, Chen Yushu said to Feng Xiaoxiao. I think you're the one fantasizing. If you're the mistress, then who's the principal wife? Could it be Chu Mengyao? As far as I know, she's just Lin Yi's employer. You really are fantasizing, Feng Xiaoxiao said, unwilling to be outdone. Chen Yushu wanted to say something, but Chu Mengyao stopped her. Xiaoshu? Oh, Chen Yushu glared at Feng Xiaoxiao, then took Chu Mengyao's hand and left the classroom with her. Lin Yi smiled bitterly and followed. He had no way to deal with Feng Xiaoxiao. He couldn't explain the situation to the eldest lady and Xiaoshu in front of her. He could only wait until he returned to the villa that night to explain it in detail to them, otherwise there might be more misunderstandings later. Ziyu Fen, while excitedly discussing this with some of the boys and girls in the class and discussing which KTV to go to, watched Lin Yi and the others leave the classroom from the corner of his eye. HMPH, I'll let you be proud for a moment, Ziyu Fang sneered inwardly and retracted his gaze. He didn't stop the activities here just because Lin Yi, Chu Mengyao and others didn't participate in the activities he organized. Although Lin Yi didn't participate, Ziyu Fang was not stupid. He wanted to build relationships with his classmates. Only in this way could he gain a firm foothold in the class in the future and succeed in everything he wanted to do. Lin Yi, Chu Mengyao, Chen Yushu, and Feng Xiaoxiao left the classroom and arrived at the door of Class 9 of Senior 3. At this moment, Tang Yun had already packed up and was waiting at the door with her school bag on her back. Seeing Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu, she smiled and nodded at them. Chapter 1005 It's a tie. Sister Tang Yun, Feng Xiaoxiao ran over quickly and held Tang Yun's hand. Chu Mengyao frowned slightly, glanced at Feng Xiaoxiao, then glanced at Tang Yun, wondering the reason. Tang Yun, she said that she is Brother Arrow's concubine, and it has been certified by you. Chu Mengyao didn't dare to ask, but Chen Yushu didn't care and asked directly. Tang Yun was nervous. She had ignored the feelings of Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu. Tang Yun was not stupid either. A woman's sixth sense made her very clear about Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu's feelings for Lin Yi. She was Lin Yi's girlfriend. Although Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu were helpless, they finally accepted this fact. But suddenly Feng Xiaoxiao came out again. It would be strange if the two of them were happy. However, in front of Feng Xiaoxiao, Tang Yun had no way to explain the truth to Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu. She could only nod helplessly and said, yes, she is Lin Yi's concubine. Chu Mengyao's face suddenly changed slightly after hearing Tang Yun's affirmative answer. She felt very aggrieved. What did she mean? She had already put aside her airs and lowered her posture to actively show her friendship with Tang Yun, and she actually found another concubine for Lin Yi? Even if she was looking for a concubine, it should be Xiaoshu, right? What's the point of looking for this Feng Xiaoxiao? At this moment, her heart ached, but she felt that she was being unfair for Xiaoshu. Yes, for Xiaoshu. Xiaoshu, this is someone else's family affair, why should we care so much? Chu Mengyao turned around, took Xiaoshu's hand, glanced at Lin Yi indifferently, and said, let's meet at the door of that KTV, Xiaoshu, let's go. Oh, Chen Yushu glanced at Lin Yi and said, Brother Arrow, you disappoint me so much. This little wife is really terrible. After saying that, Chen Yushu turned around and left with Chu Mengyao without waiting for Feng Xiaoxiao to speak. Feng Xiaoxiao wanted to say something, but she had to hold it in her heart. Looking at the backs of the eldest lady and Xiaoshu leaving, Lin Yi sighed with a wry smile. I'm afraid that this time the two of them are really angry. But what else can Lin Yi say? Glancing at Tang Yun, he found that Tang Yun was also looking at him with a wry smile. Lin Yi could only give her a comforting look. Chu Mengyao took Chen Yushu's hand and strode downstairs. Oh, Sister Yao, you pinched me. Chen Yushu's hand was pinched by Chu Mengyao, and she cried out in pain. I'm sorry, Xiaoshu. Chu Mengyao realized she'd overexerted herself. It's okay, Sister Yao, I'm just a little sad. I'm so disappointed in Brother Arrow. Chen Yushu's heart ached. She'd always believed that Brother Arrow had feelings for her, that as long as Tang Yun nodded, he'd accept her and Sister Yao. But now, maybe it's not Lin Yi's fault. Did you see he was smiling bitterly? Chu Mengyao looked closer. Maybe it's that Feng Xiaoxiao's fault. Oh, I see. It must be Tang Yun. She feels that Sister Yao and I are a threat to her, so to compete with us, she found a concubine. Chen Yushu suddenly had an idea and said, Sister Yao, look at Feng Xiaoxiao. Her personality is similar to mine. I guess she modeled it after me. That way, Tang Yun and us would be tied at 2-2, and our advantage would be gone. Huh? Chu Mengyao's eyes widened. Xiaoshu's theory was a little too shocking, wasn't it? Tang Yun had found a concubine similar to Xiaoshu to compete with her? Chu Mengyao felt that it seemed a little unbelievable. After all, this was a little unlike Tang Yun's style. Sister Yao, have you noticed? Tang Yun seems to be doing breast augmentation recently. I just observed that her breasts have become bigger. Chen Yushu continued to analyze, but her big breasts can only make up for one aspect of her disadvantage. She can't play 3 groups with Brother Arrow, so she had no choice but to find a concubine so that they can also play 3 groups with Brother Arrow. Chen Yushu's words were shocking and shocked Chu Mengyao completely. Although Chu Mengyao felt that Chen Yushu's guess was a bit absurd, who knew if Tang Yun thought so? She also admitted that Feng Xiaoxiao was Lin Yi's concubine. Chu Mengyao felt a little upset, so she said to Xiaoshu, even if she is, that was Tang Yun's behavior. It has nothing to do with Lin Yi, right? Yes. I knew Brother Arrow wouldn't abandon us. Thinking of this, Chen Yushu cheered up again and waved her fist. Sister Yao, you should be nicer to Tang Yun, but how does she treat us? She even finds concubines to fight us. I think it's better for us to fight her to the end. If she finds a few wives for Lin Yi, what does it have to do with us? Chu Mengyao said calmly, forget it, Xiaoshu. Chen Yushu looked at Chu Mengyao, wanting to say something, but ultimately kept it to herself. The two went downstairs and got into Uncle Fu's Bentley. Chu Mengyao told Uncle Fu to go to Xiandi Entertainment City on the commercial street. Lin Yi also left the school with Tang Yun and Feng Xiaoxiao. Xiaoxiao, you drive your own Audi TT. Lin Yi wanted to get Feng Xiaoxiao away from him, then discuss countermeasures with Tang Yun and call the eldest lady to explain. Because, it was obvious that the eldest lady and Xiaoshu were really angry. No, I'll go with you. Feng Xiaoxiao shook her head. She didn't want to drive herself. Lin Yi nodded and said nothing more. He was driving Chen Yushu's Beetle. Feng Xiaoxiao took the initiative to sit in the back seat, giving the front seat to Tang Yun. Lin Yi was a little amused. This Feng Xiaoxiao was a little bit aware of being a concubine. Although Lin Yi agreed to Feng Xianlong's request, Lin Yi also prepared for the worst-case scenario, that is, Feng Xiaoxiao completely fell out with Tang Yun, leaving Tang Yun to endure silently. But now, who knows what method Tang Yun used to make Feng Xiaoxiao accept her and willingly become her concubine. In the car, Tang Yun wanted to talk to Feng Xiaoxiao about Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu several times, but she was not familiar with Feng Xiaoxiao after all, and she was afraid that it would backfire. In fact, from Tang Yun's perspective, she understood Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu very well. In their opinion, even if Lin Yi wanted to find a girlfriend again, he would definitely look for them, but now he suddenly found Feng Xiaoxiao. How could they feel good? I hope that after Lin Yi explains to them in the evening, they can understand him and Feng Xiaoxiao. In front of Xiandi KTV, Lin Yi saw Fu Bo's Bentley. Lin Yi smiled bitterly, parked the car aside, and got out. Chapter 1006, being led astray by Xiaoshu. Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu, who were in the Bentley, saw Lin Yi approach and got out. The young lady, now possessing her usual subtle pride and aloofness, remained indifferent to both Lin Yi and Tang Yun, as if they were still there. Lin Yi, go get a private room, Chu Mengyao said, as if treating him as a mere lackey. Okay, Lin Yi nodded without saying anything more. However, just as Lin Yi and the others were about to enter the KTV, several taxis pulled up outside. Students from Class 3-5 of senior high school got out, including Ziyu Feng. Clearly, Ziyu Feng had chosen this KTV as well. He hadn't intentionally chosen the same place with Lin Yi. Xiandi KTV was considered one of the more luxurious venues in Songshan City, and since he was new there, it had been recommended by other students. Truly a case of searching high and low for a place. Finding it was easy. A faint smile crossed Ziyu Feng's lips. He had already given up on his plans to contact Lin Yi tonight, but he didn't expect that the two of them would end up at the same KTV at the same time. Classmates, are you also from Class 3-5 of senior high school? You look familiar to me. After getting off the car, Ziyu Feng walked towards Lin Yi and the others. Seeing Ziyu Feng walking towards Chu Mengyao, Lin Yi stopped and stood calmly about 1 meter away from Chu Mengyao. This Ziyu Feng was a master at the peak of the early Zhuan level. Lin Yi didn't know where he was coming from, so he had to be on guard against him. If he suddenly attacked Chu Mengyao, Lin Yi would be able to block him in time. At this distance, Lin Yi could just stop Ziyu Feng before he could attack, or even kill him. Yes, what's up? Although Chu Mengyao didn't want to get involved with him, she couldn't ignore him since he came to greet her. The more a person is the daughter of a school director, the more she had to pay attention to the impact. This was something Chu Mengyao always reminded herself. Haha, we are here to practice singing too. Why don't we all come together? It will be more lively this way. Ziyu Feng was talking to Chu Mengyao, and he glanced at Tang Yun, Feng Xiaoxiao, and Chen Yashuo. Especially when his eyes swept across the towering chest of Chen Yashuo, a hint of lust flashed in his eyes. It's the best. If you can hold it in your hands, it must be very cool, right? Looking at Tang Yun and Feng Xiaoxiao again, they are all stunning. Thank you, but we don't like the hustle and bustle. Chu Mengyao shook her head and rejected Ziyu Feng's proposal. I won't keep you guys, we'll leave first. After that, Chu Mengyao took Chen Yashuo's hand and turned to walk towards the door of the KTV. Lin Yi turned around then, without even looking at Ziyu Feng, and protected Chu Mengyao and others from behind as they entered the KTV. Damn it, Ziyu Feng cursed in a low voice, what kind of person is this? You're pretending to be noble. Sooner or later, you'll write on me and make me scream. After Ziyu Feng finished cursing, he turned around, restored his warm smile, and said to his classmates, haha, I don't give you face. Let's go have fun. Although the classmates were grateful to Ziyu Feng for inviting them to karaoke, out of fear of Lin Yi, no one dared to say anything bad about Lin Yi at this moment. He even dared to hit Zhong Pinliang and Zhu Ruming, so how could they dare to say anything? Ziyu Feng criticized Lin Yi and Chu Mengyao, thinking that everyone would respond. But it turned out to be a cold reception. He felt even more unhappy, but there was no abnormality on his face. He just whispered to Wang Kongming beside him, go and see the box number they have booked. Wang Kongming immediately nodded in understanding and went to the service desk to inquire about Lin Yi's box number. The receptionist didn't think much of it. Seeing Tang Yun's uniform, which Wang Kongming and his group also wore, they assumed they were together, so they naturally told Wang Kongming and Lin Yi their room numbers. Ziyu Feng feigned ignorance and checked into a large room, then went upstairs with his classmates. Lin Yi checked into a medium-sized room, which was spacious enough for 5 people. Lin Yi couldn't sing, so after entering the room, he casually sat on the sofa. Tang Yun naturally sat down next to Lin Yi. Feng Xiaoxiao, however, took the initiative and sat down on the other side of Lin Yi. Thus, Lin Yi was surrounded. Chen Yashu saw this and became a little annoyed. Hey, you're taking my seat, Chen Yashu glared at Feng Xiaoxiao. Your seat? Where is it written here that it's your seat? Feng Xiaoxiao pouted, looking at Chen Yashu sarcastically. I usually sit next to Brother Arrow, Chen Yashu said. You said it was during normal times, when I'm not around, Feng Xiaoxiao said nonchalantly. Now that I'm here, naturally I should sit next to Lin Yi. Brother Arrow, look how she's bullying Xiaoshu. Chen Yushu looked at Lin Yi with a grievance. Don't you like Xiaoshu? I'm not sitting anymore. You guys sit. Lin Yi stood up helplessly, feeling completely at a loss for what to do. He couldn't explain himself, so he could only endure it silently. I'm not sitting anymore either. I'll give it to you. Feng Xiaoxiao smiled and stood up. I'll sit then. Chen Yushu happily took the seat Feng Xiaoxiao had taken. The next moment, Feng Xiaoxiao felt like she'd been tricked. Although Lin Yi had stood up, he would eventually have to sit down. And since Tang Yun hadn't stood up, wouldn't Lin Yi still have to sit next to her? Would that mean Lin Yi would have to sit next to Chen Yushu? Thinking of this, Feng Xiaoxiao sat directly in Lin Yi's previous seat, next to Tang Yun. Although she was next to Chen Yushu on the other side, she didn't care. What songs are you guys singing? I'll help you order them. Although Lin Yi wasn't particularly interested in singing, the song ordering system was simple enough that he knew how to use it after just one glance. Chu Mengyao felt a little helpless when she saw Xiaoshu and Feng Xiaoxiao confront each other again as soon as they entered the private room. But she was also very puzzled. What was going on with this Feng Xiaoxiao? Intuitively, Chu Mengyao felt that Tang Yun wasn't the kind of person Xiaoshu described. Did she really think that she was at a disadvantage compared to herself and Xiaoshu, and that she couldn't play 3 times with Lin Yi, so she found a concubine to make up the numbers? But if she really thought so, wouldn't she have played 4 times with herself and Xiaoshu? Why would she have found Feng Xiaoxiao? However, Chu Mengyao was shocked by her own thoughts. What kind of mess was she thinking? How could she have such impure thoughts? She must have been led astray by Xiaoshu. I'll sing Su Shihan's song, Chu Mengyao said to Lin Yi with a blush, pushing the negative thoughts aside. Chapter 1007 Diligent Ziyu Fin. Oh, I'll sing Su Shihan's song too, a duet with Sister Yao Yao, Chen Yushu said. Are there any love songs for men and women to sing together? Lin Yi, let's sing together, Feng Xiaoxiao said. I can't sing, you can sing it yourself. Lin Yi quickly stopped her, otherwise Chen Yushu would probably explode again. Sure enough, Chen Yushu was very happy after hearing Lin Yi's words. Oh, Brother Arrow won't sing with you, are you disappointed? So what? He can't sing anyway, not with me, not with you, Feng Xiaoxiao said. Why not? We sing every day. What's that called? Oh, it's called nightly revelry, Chen Yushu said. Nightly revelry? You sing in the middle of the night. Feng Xiaoxiao was stunned. Brother Arrow, Sister Yao Yao and I have 3 groups every night. Nightly revelry, Chen Yushu said proudly. 3 groups. Although Feng Xiaoxiao didn't believe what Chen Yushu said, she didn't show any weakness and said, 3 groups, we are tired of playing, we have changed to role-playing uniforms temptation, yours is out of date, more sexy role-playing uniforms temptation. Chen Yushu's head turned quickly. You said that we also play that often. Sister Yao Yao and I pretend to be Pleasant Goat, and Brother Arrow pretends to be Big Bad Wolf. Haha, Feng Xiaoxiao laughed. What do you call role-playing? Yours is a child's play. I mean Sister Tang Yun and I pretend to be flight attendants or white-collar workers. Haven't you seen that Sister Tang Yun often wears school uniforms? This is called school uniform temptation. Oh, this, Chen Yushu was embarrassed, but she argued, ours is also role-playing. Haven't you heard a song like this? The wolf falls in love with a sheep, the love is crazy. Tang Yun looked at Chu Mengyao apologetically, and spread her hands helplessly. She couldn't explain to Chu Mengyao, and this was the only way to express her innocence. Chu Mengyao was slightly startled when she saw Tang Yun's expression. Could it be that Tang Yun really didn't mean to call Feng Xiaoxiao here? Tang Yun smiled bitterly, and Lin Yi also smiled bitterly. Chu Mengyao was a little suspicious. How did Feng Xiaoxiao become Lin Yi's concubine? At this time, the prelude of Su Shihan's song was already coming from the speakers. Chu Mengyao saw that it was the song she had ordered, so she walked over and picked up the microphone, then said to Chen Yushu, Okay, Xiaoshu, stop making noise, I want to sing. Chen Yushu closed her mouth and ignored Feng Xiaoxiao. Feng Xiaoxiao didn't know what to say at this moment, so she also closed her mouth and listened to Chu Mengyao sing. At this moment, the atmosphere in the box became a little more harmonious. Lin Yi breathed a sigh of relief, and Tang Yun also breathed a sigh of relief. Despite Feng Xiaoxiao's presence, Chu Mengyao showed no sign of stage fright. She was proud and confident. While she didn't often sing in front of outsiders, Her voice was undeniably beautiful. While not as impressive as those of professionally trained singers, her advantage lay in her natural vocals. She didn't need to imitate anyone, simply singing with her own voice was already captivating. Lin Yi thought her voice was quite pleasant. He didn't know if it was Su Shihan's own singing or her rendition, but this was the first time he'd fallen in love with this song. He decided to download it and listen to it after returning home. The young lady hadn't finished singing yet. Only halfway through when there was a knock on the private room door. Thinking it was a waiter delivering fruit and snacks, she ignored it and, mid-song, called out, "Come in." Earlier, when Lin Yi arrived at the private room, he'd ordered some snacks. While the prices at the KTV were high, the price wasn't much for him. However, the door to the private room opened, and the person who entered wasn't the waiter, but Ziyu Feng. As Ziyu Feng pushed the door open and walked in, he clapped his hands and cheered, "I heard this beautiful singing right at the door. It's like the sound of nature, so beautiful. I want to record it and use it as my phone's ringtone." Chu Mengyao glanced at Ziyu Feng indifferently, as if he wasn't the one praising her. She nodded slightly and said, "What's going on? I invited you earlier, but you didn't come, so I ordered some snacks for you. They'll probably be here soon." Ziyu Feng smiled and said, "We'll all be in the same class now, and I don't have any hidden agenda. I just want to get along well with everyone." "No, we've already ordered snacks." Chu Mengyao flatly declined Ziyu Feng's offer. For some reason, seeing Ziyu Feng always felt familiar, making her wary. In fact, Lin Yi also felt a sense of familiarity the moment he saw Ziyu Feng, but his attention was drawn to his strength, so he overlooked this small detail. After all, this was a student at the peak of the early Zhuan level. This shocked Lin Yi. Ziyu Feng said nothing more, but instead turned and walked over, sitting next to Chen Yushu. He was about to attack Chen Yushu first, but the sight of her towering breasts made Ziyu Feng unable to suppress the urge to push her down onto his lap. Ziyu Feng was, at heart, an extremely lustful man, though he usually hid it well from his father. However, relying on his peak Zhuan level strength, he could have sex with 10 women in one night without feeling exhausted or uncomfortable. After all, the physical strength of a Zhuan level master was astonishing, so excessive indulgence was relatively minor. "Haha, meet me, beautiful lady, Ziyu Feng." Ziyu Feng gracefully extended his hand to Chen Yushu, looking at her with a melancholy look and a smile. "Take your hand away. Don't block me from watching Sister Yao sing." Chen Yushu waved her hands impatiently, signaling Ziyu Feng to stop blocking her view. Chen Yushu's words made Ziyu Feng's expression freeze, and a trace of annoyance flashed across his eyes, but it was then well hidden. "Haha, beauty doesn't show you the favor? How embarrassing." Ziyu Feng shrugged self-deprecatingly and said with a smile. "Don't talk all the time, I'm listening to Sister Yao singing." Chen Yushu glared at Ziyu Feng with dissatisfaction. "I think he is quite handsome, why don't you go and be his concubine? It just so happens that he seems to be interested in you." Feng Xiaoxiao looked at Ziyu Feng being attentive to Chen Yushu, and said with some gloating, "Why don't you go and be his concubine?" Chen Yushu stopped listening to the song and turned around to retort when she heard Feng Xiaoxiao speak. "It's a pity that he didn't like me, but you," Feng Xiaoxiao said with some regret. Chapter 1008, Wrong. "Haha, beautiful, you're joking. How could I look down on you? I was just afraid that you looked down on me, so I didn't dare to speak." Ziyu Feng didn't know about the conflict between Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yushu. When he heard Feng Xiaoxiao's strange tone, he thought that Feng Xiaoxiao was jealous of him and Chen Yushu. And when Ziyu Feng heard Feng Xiaoxiao say that he was handsome, he felt that Feng Xiaoxiao must be interested in him. In this case, it would be okay for him to flirt with Feng Xiaoxiao first. Although her breasts didn't look as big as Chen Yushu's, she was beautiful. "Then you guessed right. I don't like you." Feng Xiaoxiao nodded in agreement after hearing what Ziyu Feng said. "Huh?" Ziyu Feng was choked by Feng Xiaoxiao's words and his expression froze. His face suddenly became a little gloomy. What did Feng Xiaoxiao mean? She didn't like him, so what else could she say? Thinking of this, Ziyu Feng felt a desire to conquer her. He had previously been incredibly successful in picking up girls. Everyone in Yanjing knew his status as the young master of the Yu family, and countless girls threw themselves at him. Even if some were innocent and didn't actively flirt with him, as long as he initiated the attack, he was unstoppable. Therefore, Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yashu's indifference to him actually made Ziyu Feng feel more challenged. He believed that these two girls must have a close relationship with Lin Yi. However, based on Ziyu Feng's years of experience in picking up girls, he knew that both Chen Yashu and Feng Xiaoxiao were still virgins. This only fueled his desire to be the first to succeed. In his opinion, if he got the upper hand on Lin Yi's girlfriend, it would be like cuckolding Lin Yi. Even if the Yu family couldn't do anything to Lin Yi right now, it would still be a very satisfying experience to make him a cuckold. So, Ziyu Feng smiled nonchalantly and said to Feng Xiaoxiao, "Haha, beautiful girl, you have a real sense of humor." Just as Ziyu Feng was saying this, there was a knock on the door of the private room. "Come in," Ziyu Feng said casually. His reversal of status earned him the scorn of Chen Yashu and Feng Xiaoxiao. However, Ziyu Feng remained unfazed. In the dimly lit private room, he paid no attention to their expressions. He was waiting for the waiter to bring in his snacks and other items, so his entire attention was focused on the waiter who entered. "Hello, guests of the private room. Here are the fruit plates and snacks you ordered. Please enjoy." The waiter entered, placed the fruit plates and snacks on the coffee table, and then turned to leave. "Haha, it's my treat. Come, ladies, please try the fruits on this plate." Ziyu Feng waved his hand to Chen Yashu and Feng Xiaoxiao. Because Tang Yun was farther away and Ziyu Feng's energy was limited, he planned to attack Chen Yashu and Feng Xiaoxiao first. As for Tang Yun and Chu Mengyao, he believed they would be his prey sooner or later, so there was no rush. "You're treating." After hearing what Ziyu Feng said, Chen Yashu looked at him with some contempt and said, "This is the fruit plate that Brother Arrow treated us to. Are you using other people's things to treat us, huh?" Ziyu Feng was stunned and said, "Brother Arrow? Who is that?" "This is the fruit plate I asked for. Before I came over, I asked for the fruit plate and snacks for you, and up." At this point, Ziyu Feng suddenly realized that something was wrong. Because in addition to the fruit plate and snacks, he also asked for flowers, which is a great tool for picking up girls, but the waiter did not bring them in together. He was so eager to show off that he forgot about it. Now he thinks it's not right. Fortunately, there was a knock on the door again outside the box. Ziyu Feng breathed a sigh of relief and thought to himself, "God is really helping me." He quickly stood up and continued, "Come in." This time, the waiter brought what Ziyu Feng asked for, a fruit plate and snacks, and 2 bouquets of flowers. Ziyu Feng felt relieved upon seeing the flowers. He quickly walked over to take them, then said to Chen Yashu and Feng Xiaoxiao, "My food has arrived. Everyone, please help yourself. Don't be shy." However, after Ziyu Feng accepted the fruit plate and snacks, he realized there was no more room on the coffee table. The snacks and fruit plate Lin Yi had ordered were already occupying the entire coffee table. Since Ziyu Feng entered, Lin Yi had been observing him coldly from a distance. Lin Yi had always been suspicious of Ziyu Feng. Judging from his demeanor and tone of voice, he was a typical example of extreme arrogance and narcissism. However, at such a young age, he possessed the strength of a peak early Zhuan realm, so he certainly had reason to be proud. Ziyu Feng's purpose in approaching Chen Yashu and Feng Xiaoxiao was obvious. He was probably trying to pick up girls. Of course, Lin Yi didn't stop him. He simply watched quietly from the side, confident that Ziyu Feng wouldn't be able to gain any advantage without force. Lin Yi even felt a little sorry for Ziyu Feng. Why go after Chen Yashu and Feng Xiaoxiao when you can? You dare touch these two? Do you think your life is too long? Everyone, eat slowly. There's more here. I'll put it aside. Feel free to bring it back when you're done. Ziyu Feng couldn't keep holding on to the fruit plate and snacks, so he prepared to place them on a nearby cabinet. Then he picked up 2 bouquets of flowers, walked over to Chen Yashu and Feng Xiaoxiao, and said, "These are for you, ladies." "Oh, thank you." Chen Yashu didn't refuse this time and took the flowers directly. Ziyu Feng was immediately delighted, thinking that this flower offensive seemed to be working after all. Girls all like flowers, that's for sure. Feng Xiaoxiao saw Chen Yashu accept the flowers and asked, "What? Are you going to give up your wriggly brother and become Ziyu Feng's concubine?" Concubine? Ziyu Feng was overjoyed when he heard this. He thought to himself, it seems that these girls are not that conservative. Since they can be concubines, they must not be opposed to having 3 wives and 4 concubines. Then it will be no problem for him to take action against them at the same time, right? Thinking of this, Ziyu Feng hurriedly said, I am actually a very fair person. I treat the first wife and the concubines equally. What's more, I love the concubines very much. Look, you should take your first wife, Sister Yao, to find him. Feng Xiaoxiao persuaded Chen Yushu after hearing this. Why don't you take your sister Tang Yun to be his first and second wives? Chen Yushu asked back. You took his flowers, but I didn't, Feng Xiaoxiao said. I took the flowers to give to Brother Arrow. As she said that, Chen Yushu stood up, ran to Lin Yi with the flowers, gave him the flowers, and said, Brother Arrow, this is for you. Chapter 1009 Coincidence. Feng Xiaoxiao frowned, snatched the other bouquet from Ziyu Feng, and ran to Lin Yi, handing the flowers to him and saying, Lin Yi, this is for you. Faced with the flowers handed to him by Chen Yushu and Feng Xiaoxiao at the same time, Lin Yi could only smile bitterly. The reason why Lin Yi did not take action to drive Ziyu Feng out was, firstly, because Lin Yi wanted to observe him secretly and find out where he came from. Such a Zhuan-level master suddenly appeared in the school, and in his own class. If he said that he was not coming for him or Chu Mengyao, Lin Yi would not believe it. Secondly, Lin Yi also wanted to use Ziyu Feng's disturbance to make Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yushu temporarily cease the war. Otherwise, there would be no peace tonight. But now it seems that Lin Yi's judgment was obviously wrong. Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yushu were able to transfer Ziyu Feng's conflict to themselves. Lin Yi accepted the flowers from Chen Yushu and then from Feng Xiaoxiao, but they didn't stay in his hands for long. He handed them to Chu Mengyao, who was singing, You sing beautifully. This is for you. Chu Mengyao was delighted to hear Lin Yi compliment her singing, and an involuntary smile spread across her face. She reached out and took the flowers from Lin Yi, cradling them in her arms, saying, Thank you. Chu Mengyao had been concentrating on singing and hadn't noticed the flowers' origins. She thought Lin Yi had ordered them for her, and her heart was filled with joy. It seemed he had some discernment and knew how to please her. The flowers were a gift from Lin Yi. Feng Xiaoxiao was a little unhappy, but there was nothing she could do. Chen Yushu, however, was happy. Lin Yi gave them to Chu Mengyao, so wasn't that the same as giving them to her? Ziyu Feng's face darkened. His own flowers, now used as a wedding dress for someone else. No matter how dumb he was, he could tell that Chen Yushu and Feng Xiaoxiao were vying for Lin Yi's favor. Lin Yi was quite popular, wasn't he? So many girls seemed to have an ambiguous relationship with him. Thinking of this, a hint of contemplation crossed Ziyu Feng's eyes. It seemed that Lin Yi was a formidable rival. However, Ziyu Feng was also confident. After all, he felt that he was more handsome than Lin Yi, and had better qualities in every way. Before he came to school, he had asked Wang Kongming to inquire about Lin Yi from the sidelines. Shortly after Lin Yi arrived at the school, he beat up the two most powerful boys in the school, Zhong Pinliang and Zhu Ruiming. Could it be that these girls were so attracted to him because of his fighting ability? Well, that was possible. Ziyu Feng was a cultivator himself, so he also admired strength. He had the idea that strength was everything. So, in his opinion, these girls liked Lin Yi because of his strength. Don't girls of that age admire boys who are good at fighting? Humph, dealing with a few campus thugs is nothing. With his own strength, it's a piece of cake. Ziyu Feng was eager to demonstrate his prowess in front of Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yushu. Although he couldn't show off his cultivation skills, with his normal physique, as long as he wasn't facing professional masters or a group fight, Ziyu Feng was absolutely confident of victory. In his opinion, no matter how powerful those campus thugs were, they were just fighting haphazardly without any rules. He could defeat them with just a few moves. Besides, as long as Lin Yi wasn't around, it wouldn't matter if he secretly used a little key. Who would be able to tell afterward? Unless a cultivator was present and could sense his key, ordinary people wouldn't be able to detect it. However, Lin Yi had already laid a solid foundation in school, having tamed those troublemakers. These troublemakers also knew Lin Yi's strength and were unlikely to easily provoke those around him. If he wanted to show off his skills, there weren't many suitable opportunities. He really hoped some blind hooligans would come out and tease Chen Yushu and Feng Xiaoxiao again, so he could be the hero and save the damsel in distress. Did Lin Yi win Tang Yun's heart because he beat up Zhu Ruiming? Now, Ziyu Feng could only resort to gentle tactics for the time being. He glanced at Feng Xiaoxiao and started chatting with her. You must be Feng Xiaoxiao, right? I've heard of you a long time ago. You're one of the beauties at Songshan First High School. Where did you hear that? You made it up, right? Pengzhan rolled her eyes and asked impatiently, why haven't you heard that I'm the last of the four most evil people on campus? Huh, I heard I'm one of the four beauties. Ziyu Feng laughed. What are your hobbies? I like playing basketball, billiards, and singing. Oh, not bad. Do you gamble, smoke, or holler? Pengzhan asked. No, I don't have any of those bad habits. Seeing Pengzhan asking him these questions, Ziyu Feng thought Pengzhan was ready to accept him, so he quickly shook his head in denial. So, do you race cars? Pengzhan asked again. No, I never do anything that dangerous. Ziyu Feng shook his head subconsciously. Oh, sorry, we don't have much in common. I like racing cars, Pengzhan said with a faint smile. Huh? Ziyu Feng was stunned and knew he had been fooled. Pengzhan first asked him about a bad habit, and after he denied it, she asked him about racing cars, which seemed to be a bad habit. He must have subconsciously denied it, but Pengzhan said she liked it. Thinking that he had been fooled by Pengzhan, Ziyu Feng was furious, but he couldn't change what he had said, so he had to grit his teeth and say, but I like to collect luxury cars. In my garage, there are many luxury cars, such as Ferraris, Porsches, etc., which are all very ordinary stuff. Pengzhan was originally full of fighting spirit and ready to fight Chen Yushu for 300 rounds, but was annoyed by the sudden appearance of Ziyu Feng. He had already squeezed him several times. Why didn't this guy have self-awareness? Are you still here arguing endlessly with me? You're even chatting with me. Why don't you go bother Chen Yushu, that busted chick? Chen Yushu, I need to go to the bathroom. Do you want to go? Pengzhan turned and looked at Chen Yushu. Oh, I'm going to. Chen Yushu nodded. She was actually quite annoyed by Ziyu Feng. She was just about to fight Pengzhan to the death, but Ziyu Feng came over to cause trouble, making it impossible for her to continue fighting Pengzhan. Chapter 1010 Temporary Alliance. So, under the somewhat stunned gazes of Lin Yi, Tang Yun, and Chu Mengyao, Pengzhan and Chen Yushu left the private room. What's the matter with you asking me out? Chen Yushu asked Pengzhan as they reached the door. She didn't think Pengzhan would be so kind as to ask her to go to the bathroom with him. Do you find that Ziyu Feng annoying? Pengzhan asked. Very annoying. It's even affecting my PK with you, Chen Yushu nodded. I think so too. So I've decided to deal with Ziyu Feng first, and then you, Pengzhan asked. What do you think? You want to join forces with me? Chen Yushu was no fool. A temporary alliance. Once we've dealt with Ziyu Feng, we'll continue, Pengzhan nodded. Okay, that's settled. Chen Yushu and Pengzhan hit it off. What do you have in mind? Not yet. I'm thinking about it, Pengzhan shook her head. The two men walked towards the restroom while talking. In reality, neither of them had any intention of going to the restroom. Instead, they stood at the restroom door and thought of a plan. Pretty girl, waiting for someone here. A drunk man with a face full of fat just finished using the restroom and walked out. He saw Chen Yushu and Pengzhan at the restroom door and his eyes immediately lit up. Such a pretty girl, much better than the girls he had found in the private rooms. She looked like an innocent student, so he couldn't help but flirt with her. The man's name was Lei Hanayu. He was a customer of Zhu Xiandi, the owner of Xiandi Entertainment City. He was in the business of empty truck distribution within the province and was a big shot on the area, so he was very unscrupulous. When he saw a pretty girl in a nightclub or entertainment city, he would push her into the private room and have sex with her. If she complied, it was fine. But if she didn't, he would use threats and inducements, and then give her a sum of money afterward, and that was it. Many of the girls who frequented nightclubs and entertainment venues weren't exactly innocent, and weren't virgins. So, they'd just go along with it, earning a small fortune afterward. Fearing Lei Henayu's power, they didn't dare report it to the police. Consequently, Lei Henayu became increasingly brazen. Pengzhan and Chen Yushu's sudden appearance startled Pengzhan and Chen Yushu, who then exchanged glances, each reading the other's intent. We're here with other men. Sorry, we can't accompany you, Pengzhan said regretfully, looking at Lei Henayu. Yes, we'd love to, but our male companion is quite formidable, and you can't afford to mess with him, so we can't go with you." Chen Yushu blinked helplessly. After they finished speaking, they exchanged another glance, a look that revealed a certain sympathy. They truly hit it off, their minds on the same page. They both planned to use this muscular man to deal with Ziyu Feng. As soon as Lei Hanayu heard what Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yushu were saying, he knew something was up. The two girls didn't refuse outright, but instead said they already had male companions, and their companions were very powerful, so they couldn't be with him anymore. Lei Hanayu was overjoyed, waved his hand, and said nonchalantly, "HMPH, in all of Songshan City, is there anyone more powerful than me, Lei Hanayu? How dare anyone snatch the girl I like? No, Brother Lei, as much as we want to accompany you, Brother Lei, our male companion is very powerful." Feng Xiaoxiao shook her head, scowling. Yes, he's very powerful. Brother Lei, you look very powerful, but I'm afraid you're no match for him, Chen Yushu warned worriedly. Shit. Go back and tell him that I, Lei Hanayu, have taken a fancy to you. If he has any objections, come find me at Brother Lei's freight station. I can't kill him, Lei Hanayu, hearing Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yushu's praise of their male companions, immediately became angry. We don't dare, Brother Lei. How about you accompany us back and tell us, Feng Xiaoxiao said. Okay. I'll go back with you. Lei Hanayu was clearly drunk, and without considering whether Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yushu's words contained any conspiracy, he waved his hand and was about to leave with him. At this time, two more men emerged from the bathroom, one bald and the other with a hooked nose. After they came out, the bald man said to Lei Hanayu, Brother Lei, what are you doing here? When the bald man saw Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yushu, his eyes lit up. What a gem. I didn't expect Brother Lei to be so awesome, even finding two beautiful girls while using the restroom. If Brother Lei was done playing soon, wouldn't it be my turn? Oh, these two girls are willing to play with us, but they said their male companions are very powerful. I'll go with them to deal with them, Lei Hanayu said casually. Ziyu Feng saw Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yushu going to the bathroom together, and he wanted to follow. This was a good opportunity to get some private time with them. Who knows, maybe he could show some affection to them. But Ziyu Feng couldn't leave immediately after Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yushu left, as that would seem a bit deliberate. He waited for a while before standing up, then pretended to go to the bathroom and walked out of the box. However, as soon as he reached the corridor, he saw Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yushu surrounded by three ferocious-looking men not far away. Someone was looking for trouble with them? Ziyu Feng's brain was a little short-circuited. He was so excited that he didn't know what to do. This was really a good opportunity given to him by God. Before, Ziyu Feng had been suffering from the lack of opportunities to show his strength, but he didn't expect the opportunity to come so soon. Ziyu Feng really wanted to burn incense for these three people. You showed up at the right time. Honey, you exist just to show off for me. Thinking of this, Ziyu Feng ran over with a swagger, anxiously asking, Xiaoxiao, Xiaoshu, what's wrong with you? Who are they? Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yushu had originally planned to lure these guys into the private room to beat up Ziyu Feng, but they hadn't expected that idiot Ziyu Feng to actually come out of the room. He was really looking for death? The two of them smiled at each other. This Ziyu Feng was truly from the death squad. Oh, our male companions are looking for us, Chen Yushu said nervously. Sorry, Brother Lei, we need to go back, Brother Lei, we have to go back with him. See you next time, Feng Xiaoxiao said regretfully to Lei Hanayu. Lei Hanayu was really tempted by Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yushu. It was rare to meet two such submissive girls, and both of them seemed to want to accompany him, without any pressure. It was just that they were a little afraid of their male companions. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 1011, Not Pretending to Understand. Seeing Ziyu Feng running over, Lei Hanayu was immediately delighted. What a physique. Boy, are you there, man? Lei Hanayu thought that the male companion mentioned by Feng Xiaoxiao meant her boyfriend, so he asked Ziyu Feng if he was their man. Ziyu Feng was immediately overjoyed, thinking to himself, you have good taste, don't you? Just for this sentence, I will beat you less later. I was thinking of beating you into lifelong disability, but now I will just let you stay in the hospital for half a year. Who are you? Xia Oxeo, Xia Oshu, is he bothering you? Ziyu Fang did not deny it and happily accepted Lei Henayu's address to him. Boy, you have nothing to do here. Your girl is liked by our brother Lei. You can get out now. The bald man laughed when he saw Ziyu Fang's appearance. He was a typical pretty boy. This kind of man was good at seducing girls, but when it came to a real fight, he was no match. He could beat 3 or 4 people with one punch. Xia Oxeo, Xia Oshu, you guys step back, leave this to me. Ziyu Fang was really afraid that these 3 guys would flee when they saw him appear. If he went to chase them, it wouldn't be the same, and he wouldn't be able to show his ability. But these 3 people seemed to be deliberately cooperating with him to show off. Not only did they not leave, but they also said some annoying words, which made Ziyu Fang laugh out loud. The 3 of you showed up at the perfect time, but since you're staying here, then cooperate with me for a while. Boy, are you determined not to leave? Lei Henai was obviously stunned when he saw Ziyu Fang dared to stay after seeing the 3 people on his side. Leaving your woman and running away is a cowardly act. Ziyu Fang smiled faintly and said, you 3 guys, if you don't want to spend the rest of your life in a wheelchair, get out of here. Hey, Lei Henai was immediately amused when he heard Ziyu Fang's tone. Boy, are you stupid? You threaten me? Why don't you ask about my reputation in the underworld? I'm eager to play with those 2 and don't want to pay attention to you, and you're still showing off. Okay, stop talking nonsense. The 3 of you come together, Ziyu Fang said lightly. If he didn't use his true ki, Ziyu Fang really was no match for these 3 guys. After all, Ziyu Fang didn't have much actual combat experience, and he relied entirely on his internal strength. But these 3 people looked like ordinary street thugs. Even if Ziyu Fang used his true ki, they wouldn't know what was going on. That's why Ziyu Fang dared to talk big and let these 3 people come together. Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yashu frowned, staring at each other and then at Ziyu Fang in disbelief. Ziyu Fang's initiative to step forward and calmly let the other 3 attack together left Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yashu perplexed. What was Ziyu Fang's strength? Was he truly a skilled fighter? If so, their plan had failed. Not only had they failed to drive Ziyu Fang away, they had even allowed him to take the spotlight. Brother Lei, since this kid is courting death, let's finish him off first, the bald man said, glancing at Lei Hanayu. Alright, let's go together and kill him, then go play with the girls in the private room. Lei Hanayu nodded, completely disregarding Ziyu Fang. He charged towards Ziyu Fang with a stern look, reaching out to grab his hair. Get out, Ziyu Fang muttered the word get out calmly. Then kicked Lei Hanayu in the chest, sending him flying. Of course, Ziyu Fang only used a tiny amount of ki. He wasn't going to cripple Lei Hanayu outright, that wouldn't have been visually impactful. He wanted to wear him down bit by bit, establishing his heroic image in front of Chen Yashu and Feng Xiaoxiao. It would have been too boring to knock Lei Hanayu unconscious all at once. Chen Yashu and Feng Xiaoxiao didn't know any martial arts, so seeing him defeat their opponent so easily wouldn't have impressed him much. After all, with these small-time thugs coming up, he wouldn't have many opportunities to showcase his prowess. So Ziyu Fang had to seize this opportunity and show off his prowess in front of Chen Yashu and Feng Xiaoxiao. Damn! This kid's a martial artist. Everyone, attack him! Lei Henayu's chest ached from the kick. He climbed up from the ground, instantly enraged. Pointing at Ziyu Fang, he commanded the bald man and the hook-nosed man. Lin Yi, who was inside the private room, saw Ziyu Fang leave, while Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yashu hadn't returned yet. Naturally, he felt a little uneasy. Lin Yi still hadn't figured out Ziyu Fang's background, so he didn't dare take it lightly. Although it seemed Ziyu Fang wanted to pursue Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yashu and wouldn't do anything to harm them, who knew if something unexpected would happen? So, after waiting for Ziyu Fang to leave the private room, Lin Yi paused for a moment before turning and following him out. He couldn't let Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yashu out of his sight for too long, especially with Ziyu Fang as an unstable factor. As Lin Yi left the room, he saw Ziyu Fang kicking Lei Hanayu away, while Chen Yashu and Feng Xiaoxiao stood behind him. Seeing this, Lin Yi frowned. Could it be that Chen Yashu and Feng Xiaoxiao had gotten into trouble, and Ziyu Fang had come to their aid? Xia Oxeo, Xia Oshu, Lin Yi called out to them as he walked. Lin Yi, Pengzhan cheered with surprise. She had only been out for a moment, and Lin Yi had already found her, clearly worried that something had happened to her. Pengzhan felt a surge of joy. Brother Arrow, Chen Yushu and Pengzhan had similar thoughts. It seemed that Brother Arrow was still worried about his concubine's safety. Huh? Only Ziyu Fang was stunned when he heard Lin Yi's voice. What was Lin Yi doing here? And why didn't he come out earlier or later? He showed up just when he was beating up the bad guys and preparing to establish himself as a hero in front of Chen Yushu and Pengzhan. Was he trying to steal the credit? Thinking of this, Ziyu Fang regretted wasting so much time with this Laze Hanayu and not being able to cripple him with a single blow. If he had just knocked them down without a word, wouldn't this situation have been avoided? No, he had to deal with these three guys quickly and without letting Lin Yi interfere. At this moment, Laze Hanayu, Baldy, and Hook Nose were already pressing towards him. Ziyu Fang took a stance, ready to take out the three guys with a single blow, but the moment he attacked, he stopped abruptly. Ki. He couldn't use Ki. He almost revealed his strength in front of Lin Yi. Chapter 1012, Frustrated Ziyu Fang. In front of ordinary people, no matter how they used their Ki, they wouldn't notice anything wrong. But in front of a cultivator, any fluctuation of Ki could be sensed. Ziyu Fang knew Lin Yi was also a cultivator. If he used his Ki, Lin Yi would probably be the first to sense his strength. Ziyu Fang couldn't help but jump in shock, secretly thinking he was lucky. If his strength was exposed on the first day of his transfer, then his entire trip would be in vain. What would his father think of him? If he couldn't even handle such a small matter, how could he handle important responsibilities in the future? So, Ziyu Fang quickly dispersed the Ki that was about to gather within him, but then trouble arose. Without the support of Ki, Ziyu Fang was no match for the three guys in front of him. These three were obviously thugs who often fought. Ziyu Fang could handle one without any problem, but taking on three at once would be a joke. He wasn't an external martial arts master. Internal martial arts masters relied entirely on their Ki to fight. Without Ki, he was no different from an ordinary person. At most, he would be slightly stronger than an ordinary person. Ziyu Fang was different from Lin Yi. Even though Lin Yi had lost the support of his true Ki, he still had many times more skills than an ordinary person due to his years of experience in battlefield missions. He also mastered countless assassination techniques and methods, and his body was extremely agile. So even in a fight, as long as the opponent was not an external cultivator, Lin Yi could easily win. But Ziyu Fang couldn't do that. For a moment, he was in a dilemma. Everyone, let's just call it a day for today. If you're not satisfied, you can leave your contact information and we'll arrange a time to have another fight. Ziyu Fang's face changed, but he finally said something polite, because without using his true Ki, he had no chance of winning. Fuck, are you stupid? You said forget it? Where's your kicking ability just now? Didn't you ask us to come together? Brothers, kill him. Laze Hanayu laughed when he heard what Ziyu Fang said. It seems that this kid is scared. Leave a way out for yourself so that we can meet again in the future. Are you determined to fight today? Ziyu Fang frowned. Although he felt very cowardly and ashamed, he had to speak softly. In front of Lin Yi, he didn't dare to use his true energy, so facing these three people, wouldn't he just get beaten? A way out? You just asked us to do it together. Laze Hanayu laughed even more happily when he saw Ziyu Fang's cowardly look. Boy, why don't you kneel down and kowtow to me 3 times, call me grandpa, and then crawl under my crotch, and let this matter today be forgotten. Ho ha ho ha. Crawl under the crotch. The bald man and the hook-nosed man also laughed after hearing this. Ziyu Fang's face turned ashen. He hated Lin Yi so much. Why don't you stay in the box and wander around here? He really hoped that Lin Yi would take Chen Yushu and Pengzhan back to the box immediately, but Lin Yi seemed to be watching the fun and stood not far away without moving. Lin Yi, take Pengzhan and Chen Yushu back to the private room. Don't hurt them. Ziyu Fang had no other choice but to say this to Lin Yi, praying that he would accept his advice. If Lin Yi left for a moment, Ziyu Fang could use his Ki to cripple the 3 men. Lin Yi, however, watched Ziyu Fang with interest. He was puzzled. What on earth was Ziyu Fang trying to do? The situation had been tense just now, but he suddenly started to speak softly. What was he trying to say? Moreover, Lin Yi could clearly sense that Ziyu Fang had tried to use his key, but it hadn't worked. What was he hiding? "Oh, I'm just here for the fun," Lin Yi said calmly, showing no sign of leaving. "Boy, you're talking nonsense when you're about to die." Ziyu Fang had just kicked Lei Zhenyu, and Lei Zhenyu's chest still ached. Seeing Ziyu Fang's nonsense, he finally grew impatient and kicked Ziyu Fang in the face. Ziyu Fang was startled and was about to dodge, but he didn't expect that he would be held on the left and right by the bald man and the hooked nose. He originally thought that although he couldn't use his true energy, he could still rely on his agility. Even if he couldn't beat these three guys, he wouldn't suffer any loss. As long as he held on for a while, he would be fine when the security came. But he didn't expect that the bald man and the hooked nose would hold him on the left and right and not let him move. The next moment, Ziyu Fang screamed and cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Because Lei Zhenyu kicked Ziyu Fang in the crotch? "Boy, aren't you capable? Aren't you pretending to be with me? I'll cripple you," Lei Zhenyu said as he kicked Ziyu Fang in the crotch again, instantly kicking Ziyu Fang into shrimp. Ziyu Fang was shaking with pain, and he wanted to kill Lei Zhenyu with a single blow. However, thinking of Lin Yi watching nearby, he could only endure it for the sake of the Yu family's righteousness. Fortunately, he was a cultivator, and his physique was stronger than that of an average person. Although Lei Zhenyu's kicks were painful, they didn't really cause any organic damage. Otherwise, Ziyu Fang would have wanted to commit suicide. Ziyu Fang squatted down, holding his crotch, while Lei Zhenyu, the bald man, and the hooked nose raised their fists and began to beat Ziyu Fang violently. "Let you pretend, kid. Aren't you arrogant? You dare to be arrogant with me, Brother Lei, in Songshan City? I'll kill you. Do you know that the boss of this KTV, Zhu Xiandi, is our Brother Lei's buddy? Killing you is a piece of cake." Ziyu Fang, who had no true energy to protect him, was immediately beaten into pig's head by the three men's rain of punches. A playful smile crossed Lin Yi's lips, but he did not leave. He continued to watch Lei Zhenyu and the other two beat up Ziyu Fang. Now, Lin Yi was completely sure that Ziyu Fang was hiding something. He didn't want to show his strength in front of him, so Ziyu Fang's purpose of transferring was questionable. Lin Yi was now 80% sure that Ziyu Fang was coming for him. Otherwise, why would he endure the beating and hide his strength in front of him? But Lin Yi didn't expose it. "Since you are willing to play the pig game, then continue to play the pig." Lin Yi was happy to pretend not to know and stood aside to watch the fun. "Help!" Ziyu Fang finally couldn't help it and cried for help. At this time, he didn't care about face. He had been beaten up, so what face was there? It would be better to cry for help and avoid some pain. Chapter 1013 Happy Cooperation. "Xia Oxeo, Xia Oshu, let's go back. It's too dangerous here. There's a fight going on." Lin Yi ignored Ziyu Fang's cries for help. Not to mention that Lin Yi knew he was a peak-level Xuan-level expert. Even if he didn't, given Ziyu Fang's poaching, Lin Yi would be happy to see him get beaten up. He didn't know if that thunderstorm's kicks were powerful enough. It would be best if Ziyu Fang was completely crippled. Then he'd be unable to pick up girls again. However, Lin Yi knew that while the idea was good, it wasn't practical. Unless he did it himself, even if Ziyu Fang didn't use his true energy, it would be impossible for a few ordinary people to injure a Xuan-level expert. Yet, that's dangerous. "Should we call the police?" Chen Yushu nodded in agreement. "I think we should just call an ambulance. I think he'll have to go straight to the hospital soon," Feng Xiaoxiao said. "Call the police," Chen Yushu instinctively contradicted Feng Xiaoxiao. "Call an ambulance," Feng Xiaoxiao was unyielding. "Call the police," Chen Yushu said. "Call an ambulance," Feng Xiaoxiao said. "Then don't call the police," Chen Yushu said. "Then don't call," Feng Xiaoxiao said. "Oh, he can just wait to die," Chen Yushu said. "Yet, it would be better if he died," Feng Xiaoxiao said. "You didn't want to call an ambulance, did you?" Chen Yushu said. "You didn't want to call the police, did you?" Feng Xiaoxiao said. "You're so mean," Chen Yushu said. "Same here," Feng Xiaoxiao said. After the two finished talking, they smiled at each other. The cooperation was quite pleasant. Lin Yi listened to the conversation between Chen Yushu and Feng Xiaoxiao, and his face twitched twice. Ziyu Fang deserved to be in trouble for running into these two little witches. So, Ziyu Fang continued to be beaten, and Lin Yi and the two little witches, Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Yashu, walked towards the private room. Ziyu Fang's crying voice behind him was drowned out by the music in the KTV corridor. Go faster, go faster. Ziyu Fang breathed a sigh of relief when Lin Yi finally left. He was eager for Lin Yi to enter the private room quickly so he could use his key to rip the three men who had assaulted him to pieces. How dare you treat me like this? I'll show you the power of a Xuan-level master, Ziyu Fang gritted his teeth, thinking viciously. Finally, Lin Yi, Feng Xiaoxiao, and Chen Yashu entered the private room. Ziyu Fang, who had been being beaten, suddenly leaped up from the ground, his entire body filled with an indescribable aura. This was perhaps what was called the aura of a king. He had instantly transformed his vulnerable position into a powerful figure who looked down upon the world and despised all living things. Have you had enough? Ziyu Fang, protected by his key, naturally ignored the barrage of punches from Lei Zhenyu and the others. He looked at Lei Zhenyu calmly and asked with contempt. Huh? Damn it, you really deserve a beating, aren't you happy with the beating you just got? Guys, give it a little harder. This kid's itching for more, so just give him his due. Lei Zhenyu was furious when he saw that Ziyu Fang not only didn't beg for mercy, but instead asked you if he'd had enough. A hint of sarcasm crossed Ziyu Fang's lips. He knew that these three people would have to pay the price in blood. However, just as Ziyu Fang was about to punch, the door of Lin Yi's box opened again. Lin Yi poked his head out of the box and said to himself, I don't know if Ziyu Fang was beaten to death. After all, we're classmates. We can't just stand by and watch him die. Come out and take a look before he gets beaten to death. Ziyu Fang was shocked when he heard Lin Yi's words. Not only was he not touched, but he was also filled with hatred. Why did you come out at any other time? You're not trying to save me, you're trying to kill me. Ziyu Fang subconsciously dispersed all his inner energy. He couldn't afford to be careless in front of Lin Yi. If he let anything slip, the Yu family's next plan would be thwarted. Ah, this is killing me. Ziyu Fang, fearing Lin Yi would notice, sank to the ground, curled up in a ball with his hands protecting his head. Huh? Lei Zhenyu, the bald man, and the hook-nosed man were stunned. They didn't know what Ziyu Fang was up to. Just before, he'd suddenly burst forth with such a domineering aura, but now he'd turned into a coward? Lei Zhenyu and the others were only stunned for a moment before they charged forward, assaulting Ziyu Fang once more. Ziyu Fang felt a pang of sadness. How could he be so unlucky? Just as he was about to strike back, Lin Yi showed up again. You said you just ignore it, and just walk away quietly, but you keep showing up. Aren't you just trying to trick people? Well, he can still talk, it seems he is not dead yet. Come out and see later. Lin Yi's mouth flickered with an imperceptible smile, and he turned and walked into the box. In fact, I have to admit that sometimes, Lin Yi is worse than Chen Yashu and Feng Xiaoxiao. This is also the reason why these two girls don't try to trick Lin Yi. Feng Xiaoxiao tried several times, but failed. Chen Yashu always thought that Brother Arrow was better than her. Ziyu Fang really had the urge to bite his tongue and commit suicide. Do you want to come out and see later? What are you still looking at? Can you stop looking? However, although Ziyu Fang prayed, he also knew that Lin Yi would not be able to do what he prayed. Otherwise, if he prayed that Lin Yi would commit suicide, the Yu family's revenge would be avenged. Fearing Lin Yi might quietly emerge again, Ziyu Fang didn't dare use his key anymore. He could only hold back his anger, grit his teeth, and continue taking the beating. He silently hummed as he took the beating, Ninja Turtles, incredibly brave. Ninja Turtles, overcoming all obstacles. Ninja Turtles, invincible, filled with magical powers. How magical, how he wished he could be a Ninja Turtles, with a massive, resistant shell on his back. Damn, this kid's singing? Looks like we didn't hide him hard enough. Lei Zhenyu couldn't clearly hear what Ziyu Fang was singing, but hearing his humming infuriated him. Brothers, keep beating him until he can't sing anymore. The punches that fell on Ziyu Fang intensified. Ziyu Fang was beaten to pulp. Ziyu Fang swore to himself, you guys are dead. I was afraid I'd exposed myself today, so I'll let you off easy. After a while, Lei Zhenyu was exhausted. He was even a little surprised. How could this guy be so resistant? He had been beating her for so long but she hadn't fainted yet. It seemed like she had a strong resistance to blows. Although they were gang members, they were afraid that if they continued beating her for too long, some onlookers would call the police, so when they saw people watching, they withdrew, leaving Ziyu Fang on the ground. Chapter 1014, Underground Boxing Arena, Part 1. Ziyu Fang climbed to his feet. Although the thugs hadn't done him any serious harm, he still had some minor injuries, his entire body covered in bruises and purple patches. Lin Yi. Thunderstorm. Ziyu Fang, would be unworthy if I didn't kill you all. This guy is so pitiful. I don't know how he offended the gangsters and got beaten up like this. I don't know if he's injured or not, a passerby sighed. Yet, he can't die, can he? He should get checked out by the hospital right away, to avoid any internal injuries, another passerby said. What are you looking at? Ziyu Fang gritted his teeth and glared at the onlookers. He snorted and hurried away. He didn't have the nerve to go back to Lin Yi's private room, so he could only go back to his own. Ziyu Fang's entrance aroused everyone's confusion. In this private room, Ziyu Fang was the star attraction. After all, he was the host, and his classmates regarded him as the center of attention. Seeing him return with a bruised face, they were stunned. Li Pangu and Wang Kongming hurried over, looking at Ziyu Fang nervously. Zi Xiao, what happened to you? Your face? Nothing. The road was slippery and I accidentally fell. Ziyu Fang waved his hand, explaining somewhat depressedly. Slippery? Li Pangu and Wang Kongming knew Ziyu Fang's strength. How could a master at the peak of the early Zhuan stage of the Zhuan realm fall so badly just because the road was slippery? But Ziyu Fang clearly didn't want to talk about it, so they couldn't ask any more questions. Lin Yi had only said that before. After returning to the private room, he never left again. He was just trying to scare Ziyu Fang. If this guy wanted to hide his strength, then let him continue to get beaten. Inside the private room, Chen Yushu and Feng Xiaoxiao were facing each other again, arguing loudly. Lin Yi could only smile bitterly. These two were a perfect match, neither willing to admit defeat, and always trying to see who was better. However, the two people's conversation drifted from topic to topic, shifting from their initial battle for Lin Yi to discussion of who was more powerful. I once dealt with Sister Yao Iao's suitor, Zhong Pinliang, and made him run a kilometer to buy me grilled squid, Chen Yushu exclaimed. That's nothing. I've even tricked someone into treating me to a meal worth hundreds of millions. Feng Xiaoxiao wasn't willing to be outdone. Seeing the two people chatting animatedly, Chu Mengyao didn't bother interrupting them. Tired of singing, she offered the microphone to Tang Yun. Would you like to sing for a while? I don't think I'd sing for a while, would I? Tang Yun had never been to a place like this before. She didn't usually sing at home. While she listened to some pop songs, it was just for fun. If she were to sing, she probably wouldn't be able to do it well. Why don't you try? Otherwise, I'll be the only one singing. Chu Mengyao shook her head at Xiaoshu and whispered to Tang Yun, what's going on with this Feng Xiaoxiao? Let Lin Yi explain to you tonight. It's not nice to say things here. Tang Yun was still cautious, fearing Feng Xiaoxiao would notice something. That's great, Chu Mengyao nodded. Since Tang Yun said so, there must be something hidden. Aren't you too tired? Lin Yi asked, observing the excited Chen Yushu and Feng Xiaoxiao. You two get along so well, why don't you just form a group? Maybe you can win a prize. No. I don't like people who are just like me. Chen Yushu shook her head, quickly declining. There can't be two tigers in one mountain. Do you think I like you? Feng Xiaoxiao also declined. How? Lin Yi smiled. So, will you sing? If not, go back to bed. Sing, of course. Chen Yushu jumped up upon hearing Lin Yi's words. She glanced at Feng Xiaoxiao and said, now it's singer's turn to perform. Under the night sky, Songshan City was ablaze with neon lights. Cars were parked outside the various entertainment venues on the streets, and people were coming and going, creating a bustling scene. However, amidst this prosperous and joyful night, one place was filled with blood and darkness. Well done. Kill him. Purple Wolf will win. Come on, Purple Wolf. Left hook, right hook, kick him in the head. Kill Purple Wolf. Black Bear will win. This was an abandoned factory floor, transformed into an underground black boxing ring. Circles of spectators filled the surrounding area, filled with many young people shouting and yelling. In the VIP seats up front sat some calm, boss-like individuals, cigars dangling from their lips as they watched the bloody scene unfold, a faint smile playing on their lips. Boss Li, who are you betting on to win today? A cigar-chomping portly man asked a middle-aged man wearing sunglasses beside him. Isn't it Purple Wolf? He's won 3 fights in a row, and today I'm betting 3 million on him, the man in sunglasses, Boss Lee, said with a grin. Even though he said but, he didn't sound like someone who cared about the $3 million at all, as if it were nothing. Haha, I bet on Purple Wolf, too, but not as much as you did, only 2 million, the cigar-smoking fat man laughed. A little gambling is fun, and losing is just like drinking a few bottles of wine. You're right, we enjoy the thrill of it all. This boxing ring is great, so exciting. Those fake fights can't compare to this. This is a real beating, the man in sunglasses nodded. In the middle of the ring, 2 men, each wearing a differently patterned mask, engaged in close combat. One wore a Purple Wolf mask, clearly the Purple Wolf, while the other wore a Black Bear mask, also the Black Bear. The Black Bear was already covered in blood from the ferocious Purple Wolf's beating. With another powerful punch, Purple Wolf sent the Black Bear flying, landing heavily on the ring. Wow, the entire crowd erupted in cheers, some excited, some frustrated. The excitement naturally came from those who won the boxing bets, while the frustration naturally came from those who lost. Of course, most people didn't participate in the boxing bets, but came here to watch the excitement. Of course, even for those who came here for the thrill, 200 yuan a ticket was not cheap. The factory stands could accommodate tens of thousands of people. Despite the first few days being undercrowded, word spread quickly, and more people were introduced to this place, resulting in sold-out shows and tickets being in short supply. Chapter 1015, Underground Boxing Arena, Part 2. If you calculate it carefully, this evening's profit from ticket sales alone could reach millions of yuan. This is truly a lucrative industry. And the ticket sales aren't the most profitable. The most profitable is undoubtedly boxing betting. Regardless of the outcome, the house always wins. Looking at the crowd cheering enthusiastically and excitedly, Xuanyuan, the boss behind the scenes, hiding in the shadows of the ring, couldn't help but chuckle and asked his attendant, Little Mule, not counting today, how much have we made since opening? Well, young Master Wen, we've already made 16.7 million yuan. Of course, that's not counting the over 4 million we lost yesterday and the day before yesterday. Otherwise, it would be much higher, the shifty-looking man called Little Mule said respectfully to Xuanyuan, notebook in hand. Well, Dr. Yin, are you sure this Black Bear can take out the Purple Wolf today? I don't think he's any good. He's already been beaten to a bloody pulp, and Xuanyuan nodded, but glanced at a middle-aged man in his 40s beside him with some concern. This middle-aged man is Dr. Yin, sent by the Fire Wolfgang to assist in Xuanyuan. He's a biochemical researcher specializing in human transformation and unlocking potential. He's invented a drug that temporarily makes a person forget pain, instantly unleashing all their potential, rendering them painless and focused solely on attacking until every last ounce of strength is exhausted. And this Black Bear is the first to use it. Previous boxing matches had been real fights between hard fighters, with winners and losers, casualties, and so on. Xuanyuan profited handsomely from his bankership. But since the day before yesterday, when the Purple Wolf made his debut, and Xuanyuan has been plotting this scheme to profit from it. Purple Wolf is a formidable fighter, hired by Xuanyuan from an underground boxing ring in the south. He's defeated his opponents 2 days in a row, winning every single day. So, when Purple Wolf made his debut today, most people bet on him to win. While some wealthy individuals may have more money than money and gamble for entertainment, they also want to win. Who wouldn't want to win when betting on a boxing match? Today, this Black Bear, although called Black Bear, is very skinny and weak, which doesn't fit the image of a black bear at all. This kind of physique is inherently weak, and he still wants to compete with the ever-victorious Purple Wolf? It's simply wishful thinking. So, after seeing the Black Bear's physique, everyone decisively bet on Purple Wolf to win. Some of the spectators, seeing how powerful Purple Wolf was before and how weak his opponent was today, also became eager to try. Today's retail investors bet a lot of money. Although each person's single share size is not very large, ranging from 10,000 to 100,000, the total amount is not small. So Xuanyuan is very happy. If Black Bear really wins, tonight, he can bring in more than 20 million in revenue. Don't worry, young Master Wen, don't you see Black Bear getting up again and again? If he keeps getting up like that, he'll wear Purple Wolf down sooner or later, Dr. Yin said calmly. Look, Black Bear is getting up again. Dr. Yin had initially been unimpressed with Xuanyuan, but after working with him for a few days, he realized that Xuanyuan was not only ruthless but also extremely decisive and a master at making money. Not only did he provide him with ample human experiments, but he also brought in extremely lucrative profits for the Fire Wolfgang. Even the Fire Wolfgang's leader praised Xuanyuan's abilities, saying he was a master at making money. This made it impossible for Dr. Yin to underestimate him. As a result, Dr. Yin's attitude towards Xuanyuan became much more respectful. Sure enough, after being knocked down, the Black Bear got up again and walked towards Purple Wolf step by step. In fact, although Purple Wolf could send the Black Bear flying with a single punch, it had also taken its toll. Although the Black Bear's attack wasn't enough to send him flying, it still hit him with such force. Purple Wolf even wondered how Black Bear, with his thin frame, could pack such a punch. He didn't say anything, but he was already suffering severe internal injuries. Seeing Black Bear rise from the ground again, his eyes red, Purple Wolf felt a surge of annoyance. Why was Black Bear like an indestructible cockroach? He'd sent him flying again and again with his powerful punches, yet he'd keep getting back up. Purple Wolf was certain he'd broken Black Bear's ribs. How could he even stand in such a state? Wasn't he in pain? Watching Black Bear charging towards him, Purple Wolf could only grit his teeth and continue the fight. In the underground black boxing ring, there were no rules, no surrender. The only outcome was a fight to the death. The one who incapacitated the other was the victor. Bang! The fearless Black Bear charged forward, slamming a punch into Purple Wolf's head. Stars shot through his eyes, and his head pounded. He'd been hit with a concussion. Yes, he'd already had several. The Black Bear, completely oblivious to his powerful punches, resorted to head-on confrontation. As the Black Bear struck Purple Wolf in the head, he was also sent flying backwards, landing hard on the ground again. Purple Wolf felt as if his head was about to explode, the pressure inside instantly multiplying. He knew if he didn't get to the hospital quickly, he'd be dead. He was anxious, wanting to end the fight quickly and get treatment. But, miraculously, the Black Bear got up from the ground and launched another charge. Roar, fearless, the Black Bear charged forward, punching Purple Wolf in the head again. With a loud bang, Purple Wolf's ears, nostrils, and mouth gushed a stream of dark purple blood, and he fell heavily to the ground. The moment Purple Wolf fell, Purple Wolf struck back, sending the Black Bear flying backwards again, landing on the ground. The whole crowd was in uproar. The undefeated and ever-victorious General, Purple Wolf, collapsed, bleeding profusely from all 7 orifices. Purple Wolf, stand up. Purple Wolf, stand up, kill Black Bear, get up. Get up, damn it. I've staked 500,000 on this. Get up, damn. Stop playing dead. But what happened next disappointed everyone, because it wasn't Purple Wolf who stood up, but Black Bear. Black Bear stood up, hands raised high, eyes still bloodshot. Although he looked like a blood-gourd, he had won. He was the last one to stand. 10, 9, 8, 7, 3, 2, 1. Black Bear wins, the loudspeaker in the ring shouted the countdown, but Purple Wolf still didn't stand. Chapter 1016 Being Appreciated. In fact, he could no longer stand up. He was already dead. The voices of frustration and abuse in the field rose and fell. They were all the people who had bet on the Purple Wolf. Now that the Purple Wolf was finished, their money was naturally gone. Not a penny was left. Haha, and Xuanyuan looked at the victorious Black Bear and laughed out loud. Not bad, I really won. This Black Bear is good and has potential. Next time I can use it in a different disguise as a trump card, young Master Wen. This Black Bear can only be used once. Dr. Yin smiled and shook his head. Oh? Why? And Xuanyuan was stunned. He can hold on until now, relying entirely on the medicinal properties of the medicine. Once the medicinal properties disappear, he can only wait for death, because many of his internal organs have been damaged. There is no possibility of survival, said Dr. Yin. That's such a pity, and Xuanyuan's face flashed with pity. Oh, what a tragedy, young Master Wen, you are a man of great deeds. Only 1 or 2 people died. What is there to sympathize with? Don't be sad, the little mule carefully comforted him. He was a subordinate sent by the Fire Wolfgang to assist in Xuanyuan. In fact, he was also the one who took the blame after the accident. It's just that the Fire Wolfgang is very kind. They have arranged for the little mule's family, so that he has no worries. Who said I sympathize? And Xuanyuan rolled his eyes and waved his hand, saying, I feel sorry for his organs. They're all broken. This is another million gone. The little mule's face twitched twice. This young master Wen is really cruel. It turned out that it was a pity that the damaged organs on the black bear could not be sold. Hurry up, find someone to take the purple wolf and the black bear down and see if they have any intact organs. Cut them off and sell them. This is an extra income, and Xuanyuan waved to the little mule. Yes, the little mule nodded and hurried to take care of it. And Xuanyuan is a bold and ruthless person. Although he runs an underground boxing ring, he has found another way to make money, that is, to cut off the organs of the black boxing contestants who were beaten to death and sell them. In the past, and Xuanyuan only sold kidneys, but now he cuts off the whole set, corneas, kidneys, hearts, etc. As long as they can be sold, they are all cut off and sold. The remaining corpses are directly thrown into the crocodile pond he raises to be digested. Therefore, the profits generated by Xuanyuan from the boxing match this evening are far more than the boxing match itself. This is why the Fire Wolf Gang values Xuanyuan. Although Xuanyuan had an accident before, the Fire Wolf Gang is not afraid. The Fire Wolf Gang has plenty of people. Isn't it hard to find someone to take the blame? As long as you have the ability and can make money, that's enough for you. Some of the boxers in Xuanyuan's underground ring were hired online as professional black boxers. Others were idle individuals, security guards, and migrant workers, lured in by the lure of huge profits. They were told they could earn 100,000 yuan per match, guaranteed regardless of win or loss, but with an additional 100,000 yuan bonus for winning. This insatiable demand for boxing kept them coming. This type of people had an advantage: their whereabouts were inherently unpredictable. Many security guards were temporary workers, working one day and leaving the next, making them highly mobile. The same was true for migrant workers. The disappearance of one or two wouldn't attract any attention. The same was true for the petty thugs. Many of them would flee after committing a minor offense, so some would suddenly disappear, leaving their companions unaware of their disappearance. Of course, even if they knew, it wouldn't matter. If Xuanyuan were ever found, he could easily claim they'd earned money fighting and had gone off to enjoy life elsewhere. Therefore, the underground ring never lacked boxers or spectators. Unless the police were on its radar, it was a lucrative business. It's also a business with no capital. Of course, what Xuanyuan is best at is the business with no capital. Young Master Wen, except for one retina of the purple wolf, all other organs are good. And the black bear only has 2 retinas and the left kidney, the rest are all useless. After a while, the little mule ran back to report to Xuanyuan. Well, the black bear is dead, and Xuanyuan nodded and asked. It's not dead yet, but it was pushed directly to the operating table, said the little mule. Not bad, it's still a little useful. Well, these are worth hundreds of thousands, and Xuanyuan nodded with satisfaction. Tomorrow, you and Master Li will continue to go to the streets to trick people into coming here to fight boxing for me. I'm going to play with women first. Yes, young Master Wen, take care. The little mule nodded hurriedly to send Xuanyuan away. And Xuanyuan had made a lot of money in recent days. Although he was annoyed by Lin Yi's sudden return to strength and frustrated that he hadn't been able to take advantage of the situation and marry Chu Mengyao, he didn't dare to go against Lin Yi until Master Li gave him clear support. Fortunately, he'd made some money recently, and he'd booked a few virgins at the Starlight Brilliant Hotel. He and Su Tai went there every morning to have some fun, which made up for his frustration. However, in Xuanyuan's eyes, while these virgins were quite pure, they were nowhere near Chu Mengyao's quality. His dream was to bring her down. HMPH, Chu Mengyao, you'll never escape my control. Once I've established a certain status in the Fire Wolf Gang and have a large number of experts at my disposal, what will Lin Yi mean to me? Although Xuanyuan was just a low-level spokesperson for the Fire Wolf Gang, he had learned some information about the gang from his father. The Fire Wolf Gang was a massive gang, with countless experts, even more powerful than those hidden families. And Xuanyuan even heard that behind the Fire Wolf Gang was a super terrifying force. Although he didn't know what it was specifically, since it was more powerful than the hidden family, it must be a very powerful existence. Master Li was the master assigned to Xuanyuan by the Fire Wolf Gang. He possessed the strength of the middle stage of the profound realm. He could be said to be a very powerful master, and was already rare in the secular world. he could only be seen in some aristocratic families. However, for the time being, there was no place for Master Li to show up. After all, Master Li was here to maintain order. He would only be used when he encountered an opponent that he really couldn't deal with. Under normal circumstances, Master Li was just like an Xuanyuan every day, that is, eating, drinking and having fun. But with such a master by his side, even though he didn't have to do anything, even if he ate, drank and had fun every day, and Xuanyuan was still very happy. After all, he was a master. With such a master by his side, he felt a lot safer. Chapter 1017, Reward. However, there was one thing that puzzled Xuanyuan. He discovered a strange phenomenon. Whenever it was late at night and everyone was asleep, or when he was extremely excited, he would inexplicably roar to the sky. This puzzled Xuanyuan, but he didn't take it seriously. Although Chen Yushu and Pengzhan Group were singing, it was obvious that they were actually shouting at each other. Whatever song Chen Yushu sang, Pengzhan Group would also sing it. After that, she would sing another song. Chen Yushu would then turn around and sing the song Pengzhan Group requested. The two of them were like a relay race, leaving Chu Mengyao no chance to intervene. Finally, the two were so tired that neither of them had the energy to sing anymore, so they prepared to leave the KTV. "I'll let you go today. We'll fight for 300 rounds another day," Pengzhan Group glared at Chen Yushu and said. "Welcome to the challenge. You're nothing compared to me, Singer Shu," Chen Yushu said. Chu Mengyao and Tang Yun exchanged a glance, forced a smile, and each of them took one of the drinks, separating Chen Yushu and Pengzhan Group. Lin Yi paid the bill at the first floor bar. While he could have easily called Zhu Xiandi, who would have certainly waived it, the bill wasn't much, and Lin Yi didn't want to bother. He simply paid and left the KTV with Chu Mengyao, Chen Yushu, Tang Yun, and Pengzhan Group. Uncle Fu's car remained parked outside the KTV. Clearly, while Uncle Fu had lost his power, he was still a dedicated driver. "Yao, Zia Oshu, you guys go back in Uncle Fu's car. I'll take Yunai and Zia Group home," Lin Yi said to the eldest lady. Yes, the eldest lady nodded. She wanted Lin Yi to go home early because she wanted to ask Pengzhan Group what was going on, but the words were on the tip of her tongue, so she pursed her lips and let it go. Chen Yushu, on the other hand, was still glaring at Pengzhan Group, still fuming. She hadn't even settled the score with Pengzhan Group yet. Lin Yi, Tang Yun, and Pengzhan Group got into the Beetle. Lin Yi started the car and asked, "Zia Group, are you going back to school to get the car, or should I take you back? Just take me back, and pick me up tomorrow morning, okay?" Pengzhan Group looked at Lin Yi pleadingly. "I need to pick up Tang Yun tomorrow morning, so you can take a taxi," Lin Yi said calmly. "Oh, then you can't just pick me up on the way? I'm your concubine, you can't favor one over the other." Pengzhan Group had already considered herself Lin Yi's concubine, and Tang Yun's acceptance emboldened her. If it were any other time, Pengzhan Group's flirting with Lin Yi in front of Tang Yin would undoubtedly have displeased her. Even if she didn't say anything, she'd definitely feel bad. But after learning about Pengzhan Group's her attitude completely changed. She even sincerely hoped that Pengzhan Group could be happy in her final days. So no matter what Pengzhan Group did, Tang Yun maintained an inclusive heart. She always told herself that she had to sincerely accept Pengzhan Group and treat her as Lin Yi's woman and her sister. "Where is your home?" Lin Yi asked. "It's not far from the school, very close, in front of Ningxi Road," Pengzhan Group said. "Oh, then tomorrow, it won't happen again," Lin Yi nodded and agreed. Ningxi Road was indeed not far away and was on the way. "Lin Yi, you are so nice. I decided to kiss you as a reward," Pengzhan Group shouted happily when she saw Lin Yi agreed. "Is this a reward, or do you want to take advantage of Lin Yi?" Tang Yun looked at Pengzhan Group with a smile. "My sister Tang Yun, you are making fun of me." Pengzhan Group's face suddenly turned red, but after hesitating for a moment, she said in a very low voice, "Sister Tang Yun, can you accept me sincerely instead of being angry? We are in crisis now. That Chen Yushu is very cunning. We should join forces to defeat the opponent. Otherwise, she also wants to be Lin Yi's concubine. If the two of us fight among ourselves again, it is very likely that the enemy will take advantage of the opportunity. This Tang Yun had actually accepted Pengzhan Xiao in her heart a long time ago, but at this moment, in order to prevent Pengzhan Xiao from seeing the flaw, she pretended to hesitate and pondered for a while before saying, "Let me try he, Sister Tang Yun, don't worry, I will definitely protect your interests." Pengzhan Xiao patted his chest and guaranteed, "I am a person who clearly distinguishes between gratitude and resentment. I will definitely remember who treats me well. I will fight Chen Yushu to the end." Actually, Chen Yushu just likes to make trouble. There's really nothing between them and Lin Yi, right? Tang Yun had a good relationship with Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu, and she didn't really want Pengzhan Xiao to get on bad terms with him. Well, that depends on their attitude. Pengzhan Xiao waved her fist. Lin Yi, driving ahead, pretended not to hear. Honestly, the rivalry between Chen Yushu and Pengzhan Xiao was giving Lin Yi a headache. It seemed he'd have to talk it out with Mista and Xiaoshu tonight. Otherwise, with Xiaoshu getting in the way, there might be some unexpected trouble. Tang Yun was taken to the hospital first. Although it was late, the hospital was still bustling with people. The First People's Hospital was open 24 hours a day, and there were many patients that night, with ambulances coming and going. Lin Yi wasn't worried about Tang Yun's safety. After watching Tang Yun enter the hospital and disappear from sight, Lin Yi started the car and prepared to take Pengzhan Xiao home. Pengzhan Xiao was now in the passenger seat, and Tang Yun had already gotten out, so she didn't feel embarrassed anymore. Lin Yi wanted to say something to Pengzhan Xiao, but he didn't know what to say. Honestly, it wasn't that Lin Yi didn't have feelings for Pengzhan Xiao, but rather that he couldn't adjust to the change in their attitude. Previously, Lin Yi had approached Pengzhan Xiao with a wary eye, but now his mindset had changed, and his attitude was a bit off-putting. Suddenly treating Pengzhan Xiao the same way he treated Tang Yun felt awkward and a bit exposed. So, usually, when Lin Yi and Pengzhan Xiao were together, they remained silent. "Lin Yi, has my dad contacted you?" Pengzhan Xiao spoke first, unsure what to start with. All afternoon, Pengzhan Xiao felt like she was in a dream. Something she'd worked so hard for, and now it had suddenly come true. Was she really Lin Yi's girlfriend? Just a concubine, but the relationship was the same, so Pengzhan Xiao didn't mind. But it was all too fast, and Pengzhan Xiao was still a bit uneasy. Had Tang Yun fallen for his trick so easily? Pengzhan Xiao felt unreal. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 1018. I'm a little moved. I found him. He asked me to meet him. What did you tell your father? Lin Yi asked, pretending he had never met Feng Xianlong. Nothing. Pengzhan Xiao had been very bold before, but after confirming her relationship with Lin Yi, she became a little cautious. Maybe I wanted to thank you for saving me in Yanjing. Oh, Lin Yi nodded, seemingly casually asking, by the way, what happened when you suddenly fainted last time? Are you sick? Oh, nothing. Pengzhan Xiao shook her head. She didn't want Lin Yi to know she had a terminal illness. If that happened, her revenge would become Lin Yi's sympathy, and what would be the point of her revenge? HMPH, Lin Yi, you hurt me so badly before, I won't let you go. I was just using you as a love experiment, making you fall in love with me and then feel sad for me. Lin Yi nodded, saying nothing more, and continued driving. Lin Yi, there aren't many cars right now. Why don't you go for a spin? Let me enjoy it. Pengzhan Xiao turned and looked at Lin Yi. Why would I speed if there's nothing wrong? Don't you know how dangerous it is? Lin Yi frowned. 9 out of 10 car accidents are caused by speeding. Are you dying? Haha, you don't want to live. Pengzhan Xiao shook her head and sighed softly. Lin Yi was startled for a moment, but then his heart sank. Pengzhan Xiao's words hinted at something, implying that she didn't have much time left to live, but Lin Yi couldn't really respond to that. He could only sigh imperceptibly. His sympathy for Pengzhan Xiao grew even stronger. This was an optimistic and positive girl. From the moment he met her, Lin Yi had never seen a single trace of negativity in her. If Lin Yi hadn't personally experienced Pengzhan Xiao's physical anomaly and heard his comrade Feng Xianlong reveal her true condition, He would never have believed that this beautiful girl before him was dying. Putting aside his concerns and guilt towards Tang Yun, Lin Yi found that he actually had a crush on this girl. Lin Yi didn't want her to die, but there was nothing he could do. Even the old man couldn't cure the disease, so there was no way Lin Yi could possibly do anything. Although Lin Yi was known as a miracle doctor, he wasn't omnipotent. He could indeed cure some known terminal illnesses and change someone's fate, but for unknown illnesses, where Lin Yi didn't even know the cause, how could he treat them? Hey, Lin Yi, do you like me? Pengzhan gave up on the idea of asking Lin Yi to race. She knew Lin Yi was stubborn. He would do what he said, and he wouldn't easily change his mind about what he refused. Lin Yi didn't answer. Well, you really don't like me? Not at all? Just a little bit, Pengzhan asked, a little unwillingly. Lin Yi still didn't answer. Hey, when you touched me at the auction, didn't you feel anything? Pengzhan was getting anxious. Yes, Lin Yi replied, hearing Pengzhan's increasingly outrageous remarks. So, are you attracted to me? Pengzhan was delighted by Lin Yi's affirmative answer and pressed on. A little, Lin Yi nodded. Then why did you reject me? Pengzhan was a little confused after hearing Lin Yi's words. No, I just started to like you a little bit today, Lin Yi said. I had some feelings for you when we were in Yanjing before, but I wasn't sure. Lin Yi did have some feelings for Pengzhan before, but out of caution, he kept them to himself, only releasing them today. Ah! I'm so happy. So happy, Pengzhan danced with joy. It seems that hard work pays off. So, do you agree to let me be your concubine? Yunnan agreed, Lin Yi asked. Yes, of course Sister Tang Yun agreed. Otherwise, why would she agree to be alone with you? Pengzhan nodded excitedly. You didn't force her, or set a trap to make her accept you out of necessity, did you? Lin Yi asked. Of course not, Pengzhan naturally wouldn't admit it. Sister Tang Yun accepted me because I'm a nice person. Poof, Lin Yi nearly crashed the car into a tree. Nice person? But Lin Yi knew what was going on, so he didn't expose it. What are you laughing at? Pengzhan noticed Lin Yi's strange smile, and felt a little indignant. It was really Sister Tang Yun who took the initiative to accept me, Lin Yi shrugged. I really don't know what you're thinking. A girl as beautiful as you could find any boyfriend you want. But you chose to be someone else's mistress, so what? Pengzhan shrugged. If I didn't, there would be plenty of people vying for it. For example, that Chen Yushu, she's always making cute noises. Lin Yi, don't let her fool you, Lin Yi shook his head. Pengzhan and Chen Yushu had finally met, and this was going to be a bit of a headache. We're at Ningxi Road. Where's your home? As he spoke, Lin Yi's car had already reached Ningxi Road. Turn left to the next intersection, and then go about 500 meters, Pengzhan said, looking at the road. 500 meters wasn't far at all, it was there in the blink of an eye, and Lin Yi's car arrived at the entrance of a residential complex. The residential complex was large, but not particularly luxurious. This suggested Pengzhan's family wasn't particularly wealthy. Lin Yi reflected on this, and it was indeed true. Pengzhan had lost her mother at a young age, having been raised solely by Feng Xianlong. While Feng Xianlong's annual salary was high, and they lived on the edge, it was only around $1,000,000 a year, far from enough to afford a luxurious villa. Right here, Pengzhan instructed Lin Yi as they drove into the complex and parked in front of a building. I live right here, Unit 3, top floor, be careful going upstairs. Text me when you get home, Lin Yi said, nodding. Actually, Lin Yi was just being casual. The security measures in this complex were quite good. Patrol cars passed by regularly, so there weren't usually any bad guys. Plus, every unit had an electronic door, and the elevators were monitored by security cameras. Why don't you go upstairs and sit for a while? Pengzhan suddenly felt reluctant. She had been so happy today. She was afraid this was all a dream, and once she got upstairs, she'd realize it wasn't real. Although Pengzhan had always been in a relationship with Lin Yi with the intention of taking revenge on him and making him sad, this way she could not only enjoy the sweetness of love at the last moment of her life, but also achieve her goal of taking revenge on Lin Yi. Chapter 1019 The Feeling of Love. However, as Pengzhan became more and more devoted, and with her father's strong support, she felt a sense of loss. She wondered if this was the right thing to do. If Lin Yi truly fell in love with her, wouldn't that be very painful? No, it's getting late. Go back and get some rest, Lin Yi said. Isn't your dad home? I wouldn't be able to go up. He's not home. He's staying at the hotel. I think he has other work to do and needs to go out tonight. He's worried about disturbing my rest. Pengzhan Group shook her head. Her father was very busy at work, and she was used to living alone. Is that so? Then I won't go either. See you tomorrow, Lin Yi said with a smile. Okay, Pengzhan Group said, somewhat disappointed. Then, can you kiss me? Pengzhan Group suddenly looked up at Lin Yi. Her bright eyes shone like stars in the night sky, stirring Lin Yi's heart and giving her a kiss. However, he restrained himself. Wasn't things moving too fast with Pengzhan Group? Hey, go upstairs and get some sleep, Lin Yi said without responding. Oh, Pengzhan Group was a little disappointed. She really wanted to know what it felt like to kiss someone else. She had never had this experience before. In the past, the thought of getting close to boys made her feel sick, but with Lin Yi, she was looking forward to it. I'm leaving, Lin Yi said to Pengzhan Group. Let's go upstairs, okay? Pengzhan Group hesitated for a moment, and suddenly, an impulse came from nowhere. She tiptoed and kissed Lin Yi lightly on the cheek. Then, without waiting for Lin Yi to say anything, she giggled and jumped away. She was afraid that Lin Yi would be angry, so she just waved to him. I'm leaving. It feels good. With that, Pengzhan Group quickly ran towards the unit door in the corridor. Lin Yi smiled, watching Pengzhan Group's swift escape. He touched his cheek. That moment felt quite good. He felt the urge to run over and hug Pengzhan Group. He knew that if he were to take things further with her, she wouldn't refuse, given her personality. Unlike Tang Yun was reserved, while Pengzhan Group was passionate and fiery. He'd touched her breasts in Yanjing, and Pengzhan Group hadn't shown much resistance, which was evident from this. But Lin Yi didn't act on it. That momentary impulse was just that, an impulse, not a genuine love. While Lin Yi had some feelings for Pengzhan Group, he didn't want them to do anything too soon. After watching Pengzhan Group go upstairs, Lin Yi returned to his car and drove away. Pengzhan Group ran into the elevator in one breath. Inside, she covered her chest and gasped, her face as red as a boiled lobster. Although she was bold, it was the first time she took the initiative to kiss a boy. Even if it was a kiss on the face, it was enough to make her shy. However, the electric shock-like feeling fascinated Pengzhan Group. No wonder so many young men and women are keen on falling in love. It turns out that this feeling is really good. Pengzhan Group touched her hot little face. What does it feel like to be kissed? She kissed Lin Yi, and it felt so good. If Lin Yi kissed her, would she feel very happy? In a daze, the elevator reached the top floor. Pengzhan Group got off the elevator and arrived at the door of her own house. Although Pengzhan Group's family did not live in a luxurious villa, it was a large duplex with 2 elevators and 1 unit. This house was in Songshan City. Even if it was purchased a few years ago, it would cost several million. It's just that Xuanyuan has very few expenses, and he knows his daughter won't live long, so he doesn't think about saving money. He generally does his best to provide his daughter with the best living environment. Pengzhan Group opened the door and entered the room, rushing directly to the bathroom and washing her burning face with cold water. She really needed to cool down. After washing her face, Pengzhan Group breathed a sigh of relief. Looking at her beautiful face in the mirror, Pengzhan Group waved her fist and said to herself, "Group, you are the best. Come on. Lin Yi has started to like you." However, after Pengzhan Group cheered herself up, she was immersed in strange emotions again. Is this what love feels like? It seems that she has really fallen in love with Lin Yi. Well, that doesn't matter. She is going to die anyway, so she just wants to experience the taste of love. The more she devotes herself, the better it will feel. Thinking this way, Pengzhan Group didn't intend to deliberately control her emotions. After coming out of the bathroom, Pengzhan Group sent a text message to Lin Yi, "Honey, I'm home." When Pengzhan Group's text message came, Lin Yi was almost home. He was a little worried about why Pengzhan Group hadn't texted him for so long, but now he felt relieved. Lin Yi casually sent a text message to Pengzhan Group and said, "I'll be there soon." Not long after Lin Yi replied to the text message, the phone rang. Lin Yi thought it was Feng Xiaoxiao calling, but because he was driving, he didn't check the caller ID carefully and picked up the phone directly. Xiaoxiao, what's the matter? Xiaoxiao sounds so nice. I'm not Xiaoxiao, I'm Yunyan. Tang Yun's voice sounded angry, but when she said the word Yunyan, she couldn't help laughing. It's really awkward to call myself Yunyan. Haha, I just received Xiaoxiao's text message, and your call came in. I thought it was her. Lin Yi knew that Tang Yun would not be jealous. She was a very kind-hearted girl. After knowing Feng Xiaoxiao's miserable life experience, all she had left was sympathy and pity. Otherwise, she would not have taken the initiative to agree to Feng Xianlong's request when she was at Feng Xianlong's place today. I just want to ask, are you home yet? I'm a little worried. Tang Yun was not worried about Lin Yi driving alone so late, but she was worried about those forces that had caused trouble for Lin Yi before. Although those people had been taught a lesson by Lin Yi, who knew if they had given up? Would they wait for an opportunity to retaliate? We'll be home soon, Lin Yi said. By the way, Xiaoxiao was here before, so I didn't have time to ask you, what did you and Xiaoxiao talk about? What agreement did you reach? Why does she act like she's got a big bargain by being a concubine? Haha, Tang Yun couldn't help laughing after hearing Lin Yi's question. I knew you would be curious. But to be honest, it's really funny. The situation was like this: you went to buy food, and Xiaoxiao and I started chatting about the topic of the mistress while waiting for you. Chapter 1020 Still Like Stupidity. Tang Yun did not hide anything and told Lin Yi everything she had said to Feng Xiaoxiao and the agreement they had reached. After listening to Tang Yun's explanation, Lin Yi couldn't help but widen his eyes in surprise. He didn't expect that Tang Yun was so smart. Not only did she reasonably maintain her own status, but she also made Feng Xiaoxiao feel that she had picked up a great bargain. Yunyan, I didn't expect you to be so smart, Lin Yi sighed. Tang Yun said with some pride, if I weren't smart, I would have been squeezed out long ago. The lesson Feng Xiaoxiao taught me last time reminded me that I am not as stupid as before. Lin Yi didn't say much, because Tang Yun became more mature, which was a thing to be happy about. After all, people always have to grow up. By the way, what are you going to say to Chu Mengyao and Chen Yusu tonight? Chen Yusu seems to be quite hostile to Xiaoxiao, Tang Yun said with some helplessness. Then we can only tell the truth, Lin Yi said. Yao and Xiaoshu are both reasonable people. Now that they know Xiaoxiao's situation, they won't make things difficult for her. Yes, that's true. But you still have to tell them not to stop being hostile to Xiaoxiao all at once. That will definitely make Xiaoxiao suspicious. It's better to slowly accept Xiaoxiao, or, like Xiaoxiao and I, take time to get used to it, Tang Yun suggested. I understand. I'll tell them. Lin Yi knew Tang Yun was right. But with Yao and Xiaoshu's intelligence, they should be able to handle this perfectly. Are you driving? Then I won't bother you. Drive safely. See you tomorrow, Tang Yun said with a smile. Yes, see you tomorrow, Lin Yi nodded. Lin Yi was almost at the villa complex. He hung up the phone and, just a few minutes' drive away, parked the car in the villa's courtyard. Lin Yi entered the villa and, as expected, saw Yao and Xiaoshu sitting in the living room watching TV. Xiaoshu was so excited that she was dancing and jumping around, and didn't even notice Lin Yi coming back. Chu Mengyao couldn't help but kick Chen Yushu. Xiaoshu? Chen Yushu was stunned for a moment, then saw Lin Yi coming back. She remembered that she had something to ask Lin Yi, and hurriedly said, Brother Arrow, you are back? What's going on with Feng Xiaoxiao today? Don't you like Xiaoshu anymore? Do you want to find someone similar to Xiaoshu and have a 3-game show with Tang Yun? Xiaoshu? Chu Mengyao glared at Chen Yushu. What are you thinking about every day? Don't talk nonsense all the time. How can a girl get married in the future if she speaks so rudely? Oh, if Brother Arrow doesn't want me anymore, I might as well die. Why would I marry anyone? Chen Yushu said a little sadly. Okay, Xiaoshu, stop it. Lin Yi glanced at Chen Yushu, then said, you noticed something was wrong a long time ago, didn't you? Oh, Chen Yushu was slightly stunned. She did find Feng Xiaoxiao's sudden appearance a bit bizarre. Theoretically, it was impossible for Lin Yi to accept a girl as a concubine for no reason, and Tang Yun was not the kind of person who was willing to share Lin Yi with others. If Tang Yun was willing for Lin Yi to find a concubine, she would not have confronted them at Fatty Lai's house. Chu Mengyao was also slightly stunned. She also noticed that something was not right tonight, but she did not tell Xiaoshu. She just asked Xiaoshu to wait for Lin Yi to come back and ask him what was going on. Unexpectedly, Xiaoshu also found out that something was wrong. "Oh, it's so boring, Brother Arrow, why do you always expose me?" Chen Yushu said, a little frustrated. "Haha, I still like your silly look," Lin Yi smiled. Lin Yi's claim that Chen Yushu had long noticed something was amiss with Pengzhan Group stemmed from Chen Yushu's attitude toward her. While the two bickered, it never escalated into actual attacks or frame-ups. And given Xiaoshu's personality, she definitely wouldn't team up with someone she disliked to prank someone else. "Oh, that's good," Chen Yushu cheered up again. "Brother Arrow, what's going on with Pengzhan Group?" Chen Yushu was happy because she felt Pengzhan Group was the less silly version of herself. But Lin Yi said she still preferred her silly self, meaning she preferred herself to Pengzhan Group, which naturally delighted her immensely. "I'm going to tell you about Xiaoshu, but you must keep it a secret," Lin Yi nodded, instructing Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu. "Don't worry, my nickname is Confidential Shu. I won't reveal anything I can't, even if I'm beaten to death." Chen Yushu nodded quickly. Chu Mengyao didn't say anything, but she also nodded, indicating she would keep the secret. "Xiaoshu doesn't have much time left," Lin Yi sighed, sitting on the sofa across from Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu, and said to them. "Huh? Not much time left?" Chu Mengyao was slightly startled, then her face changed. "Lin Yi, you mean, Pengzhan Group?" "That's right, Xiaoshu has a terminal illness, and even I can't do anything about it. She'll be dead in a year at most," Lin Yi sighed. Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu both stared at Lin Yi in astonishment. Lin Yi continued, "Xiaoshu's father and I are very good friends, so he asked me to tell him that Xiaoshu has never tasted the sweetness of love, so he wanted me to agree to cooperate with him and be Xiaoshu's pretend boyfriend until the day she quietly leaves." As Lin Yi spoke, he told Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu in detail what happened in the afternoon, and Yunnan was very kind and agreed to it first. Did Tang Yun take the initiative to agree? Chu Mengyao was a little surprised. She didn't expect Tang Yun to be so kind and take the initiative to let Lin Yi go. "Yes," Lin Yi nodded. "Sister Yao, then Pengzhan Group is so pitiful." Chen Yushu regretted confronting Pengzhan Group today. She was about to die, so why did she bother to argue with her? Lin Yi could stay by her side for the rest of her life, but what about Pengzhan Group? I'm afraid she would only have a year at most. Yet, I really didn't expect that Pengzhan Group would have a family hereditary terminal disease. Chu Mengyao sighed. "No wonder Tang Yun accepted her. I have told you all the things I need to say. I hope you can keep it a secret for me. After all, this matter is hidden from Xiaoshu," Lin Yi said. "Xiaoshu is a girl with a strong sense of self-esteem. If she finds out that I know about her illness, she will probably think that I am with her out of sympathy and pity for her. Then some unexpected changes will happen." Chapter 1021. I can't wait anymore. Lin Yi, don't worry. Xiaoshu and I know the importance of this. Chu Mengyao nodded solemnly and said, "Also, Xiaoshu and I promise we won't harbor any hostility toward Pengzhan Group anymore. You can bring her to the villa as a guest." "Oh, that's not necessary. Don't change your attitude towards her all at once. It takes time." Lin Yi shook his head. "Xiaoshu is not stupid. If your attitude suddenly did a 180-degree turn, don't you think she'd be suspicious?" "That's true," Chu Mengyao nodded. "Then how should we cooperate?" Chu Mengyao was a considerate person. After hearing about Pengzhan Group's situation, she felt deeply sympathetic. If she could do anything for her, she would be willing to help. However, due to her personality, although she wanted to help, her tone remained calm. No need to deliberately befriend her. Let things take their own course. Lin Yi didn't know what to do, so he could only take it one step at a time. At least Zhao and Xiaoshu no longer harbored hostility towards Pengzhan Group, which would reduce future conflicts. "Oh, leave it to me," Chen Yushu patted her chest confidently and said, "I'll continue arguing with her, and then we'll appreciate each other and become good friends." Lin Yi's eyes twitched. He was really worried that Chen Yushu would use too much force and burst her breasts. However, Lin Yi had to admire Chen Yushu's proposed method. It was the most feasible one. Haha, Xia Oshu, then I'll trouble you, Lin Yi nodded. Oh, I love helping Brother Arrow. But after Feng Xiaoxiao leaves, you have to make it up to Xia Oshu, Chen Yushu said. Lin Yi's brow darkened. Xia Oshu's words sounded like she was expecting Feng Xiaoxiao to die, but Lin Yi knew Chen Yushu meant no harm. Standing up, Lin Yi said, I'm going to see Uncle Fu. You guys can continue watching TV. But you can discuss the details with Yunyan. Yes, Chu Mengyao was already interested in interacting with Tang Yun, so she nodded naturally after Lin Yi finished speaking. Lin Yi stood up and walked into Uncle Fu's room. Uncle Fu had been staying in the villa for the past 2 days, which was also convenient for Lin Yi to heal him. When Uncle Fu saw Lin Yi coming in, he quickly stood up. Uncle Fu did not dare to neglect Lin Yi at all. His respect for Lin Yi came from the heart. Lin Yi could be said to be his savior, and if it were not for Lin Yi, his meridians would not have been repaired. It can be said that Lin Yi's kindness to Uncle Fu could be called that of a reborn parent. Uncle Fu was only respectful to Chu Pengzhan like an old friend, but for Chu Mengyao, it was more of a doting love from the heart. The pain of losing his wife and daughter made Uncle Fu treat Chu Mengyao, who he had watched grow up, as his own daughter. Xia Yi, you're back. Although Uncle Fu called Lin Yi Xia Yi, it was also because of Lin Yi's strong request. However, his words were filled with incomparable respect. Uncle Fu, what do you think? Lin Yi nodded and walked into the room. He had twice raised the issue with Uncle Fu's attitude, but he remained the same, leaving Lin Yi with no other options. After all, Lin Yi knew that his treatment of Uncle Fu was, in the martial arts world, akin to life-saving grace. Not bad, just one meridian missing. It should be back to health tonight, Uncle Fu said. Okay, then let's work hard today and repair your meridians. Lin Yi was also a little impatient. After all, the strength of an Earth-level expert was not to be underestimated. If Uncle Fu truly recovered, Lin Yi would have a powerful ally, and the threats from the Yu and Zhao families would cease to exist. Thank you for your help, Uncle Fu nodded and sat on the bed, waiting for Lin Yi to come and transfer his ki into his body. General Weiwu, Lin Yi called out to General Weiwu, who obediently ran to the door of Uncle Fu's room and squatted there, ready to protect Lin Yi and Uncle Fu. These days, General Weiwu has become accustomed to protecting Lin Yi and Uncle Fu. Woof woof, General Weiwu barked at Lin Yi twice, as if to tell Lin Yi that he was ready. Lin Yi nodded, sat next to Uncle Fu, and used the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue, and began to use the energy in his body to repair Uncle Fu's damaged meridians. After a few days of hard work, Lin Yi had repaired most of the damaged meridians in Uncle Fu's body. Today was the last one. Lin Yi's energy quickly flowed into Uncle Fu's body, and the meridians in Uncle Fu's body quickly improved at a speed visible to the naked eye. Uncle Fu couldn't help but moan in comfort. The true energy transmitted by Lin Yi was quickly absorbed by him. Before, Uncle Fu was a little unconvinced that Lin Yi's true energy could really be used by him without any side effects, but after a few days, the facts prove that Lin Yi's true energy really had a great effect on him. Lin Yi can be said to be very familiar with the matter of healing people. After about a cup of tea, Lin Yi completely repaired the last damaged meridian in Uncle Fu's body. At this point, Uncle Fu had become a person capable of practicing internal martial arts. Although there wasn't a trace of true ki in Uncle Fu's meridians yet, Lin Yi could feel their strength. If enough energy were channeled through them, Uncle Fu could instantly regain his status as an Earth-level expert. This was similar to his previous experience after being demoted, similar to how he'd been in an online game, where the level remained but the experience points were gone. The advantage of this was that as long as he had enough energy, he could effortlessly become an Earth-level expert again, avoiding the arduous process of leveling up and breaking through barriers each time he practiced. After Lin Yi repaired the last meridian in Uncle Fu's body, a frenzied urge suddenly surged within him. He couldn't wait to restore Uncle Fu to an Earth-level expert. Previously, when repairing Uncle Fu's meridians, Lin Yi had been able to restrain himself, using a portion of his energy daily to heal him. But now that all of Uncle Fu's meridians were fully repaired, Lin Yi couldn't wait any longer. Today is the day. Impulsively, Lin Yi gritted his teeth. He decided to continuously channel energy into Uncle Fu's body today. Time waits for no one. Ziyu Fang's sudden appearance today gave Lin Yi a sense of crisis. Although Ziyu Fang's strength was slightly inferior to his own, who knew if an even more powerful master would appear after Ziyu Fang? Chapter 1022 Master Building Plan. Lin Yi felt a sense of urgency. He desperately wanted to have another expert by his side, so he wouldn't be afraid of potential threats. Lin Yi had chosen to restore Uncle Fu's strength today because of Ziyu Fang's strange behavior. Since Ziyu Fang didn't want to reveal his strength in front of him, he didn't expect any conflict with him for the time being. Therefore, Lin Yi wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to build up Uncle Fu before Ziyu Fang revealed his strength. After all, he was safe during this period and didn't need to worry about Ziyu Fang coming to kill him. With this in mind, Lin Yi didn't stop channeling energy into Uncle Fu's body. After Uncle Fu's meridians were repaired, he continued to practice the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue, continuously injecting energy into Uncle Fu's body. Uncle Fu felt his meridians healed and was about to shout in surprise, getting up to stretch his body and feel the feeling of a former internal martial arts master. But the next moment, he was horrified to find that Lin Yi's true energy was still flowing into him. Xiao Yi, you? Uncle Fu's eyes widened, staring at Lin Yi in surprise. Lin Yi smiled, but didn't answer. He continued to concentrate on transferring energy into Uncle Fu's body. Uncle Fu's heart trembled, and he also understood a little bit. Lin Yi actually wanted to use the true energy in his body to force himself to become a master. Uncle Fu had experienced this situation before. The true energy cultivated by his wife could not only heal his injuries, but also be used by him to improve his strength. However, every time his wife worked hard for a year to cultivate true energy, it could only help him improve a small part of it. Fortunately, after his wife practiced, the only thing she could do was to help him practice, so Uncle Fu didn't feel too guilty. After all, that was how the Sun family's martial arts were. But Lin Yi was different. Lin Yi had no relationship with him, but he healed his injuries and repaired his meridians. This was already a great favor, and it consumed a large part of Lin Yi's true energy. Now Lin Yi was actually going to use true energy to forcefully transfer it into his body. How could Uncle Fu not be excited? Uncle Fu was also surprised to discover that Lin Yi's ki could truly be harnessed. As Lin Yi's ki continued to flow in, Uncle Fu could feel his own strength gradually recovering. This was exactly the same experience he had just had when he began practicing internal martial arts, giving him the feeling of being retrained. Seeing Lin Yi smile, Uncle Fu knew that Lin Yi had made up his mind. Although Lin Yi was young, once he made up his mind, he rarely changed his mind. Although Uncle Fu felt a little embarrassed to accept Lin Yi's ki, he was also afraid that interrupting Lin Yi at this moment would put him in greater danger. Thinking of this, Uncle Fu felt that he couldn't let Lin Yi down, so he quickly activated the mantra of his own sex inner cultivation method, mobilizing the ki transmitted by Lin Yi and coordinating its circulation within his body. However, as Uncle Fu activated his inner cultivation method, his body's energy absorption rate suddenly accelerated. The purpose of any internal martial arts method is to absorb the ki of heaven and earth and use it for one's own benefit. Therefore, after Uncle Fu activated the mantra, he was also absorbing ki, but the ki transmitted by Lin Yi was being absorbed. Lin Yi suddenly sensed the acceleration of Fu Bo's ki absorption. After a moment's pause, Lin Yi realized that Fu Bo was cooperating with him. Lin Yi showed no sign of stopping. The faster Fu Bo absorbed, the happier he was. Although it was a bit strenuous, if Lin Yi could quickly transform Fu Bo, he could quickly enter the jade pendant space to cultivate and restore his strength. A single night would be enough if possible. By the next morning, Lin Yi had regained his previous strength. Time passed, Lin Yi continuously channeling ki while Fu Bo absorbed it. Like old monks in meditation, neither spoke, but their expressions grew increasingly solemn. Fu Bo felt he was on the verge of reaching the yellow rank. This surprised him, yet he was a little hesitant to believe it. To transform someone without any strength into yellow rank expert, how much ki would it take? Such a large amount of ki, all the result of painstaking cultivation, was simply given away by Lin Yi. Uncle Fu was deeply moved and secretly vowed to repay Lin Yi in the future. This favor was simply too great. Lin Yi seemed to sense Uncle Fu's growing strength, and a faint smile crossed his lips. Breakthrough. Uncle Fu felt that he had touched the threshold of the yellow rank. This made Uncle Fu's thoughts return to his past years of cultivation, thinking back to the excitement he had felt when he first broke through to the yellow rank master level. Boom! This time, Uncle Fu broke through the yellow rank effortlessly. With only a slight tremor in his body, he successfully made the transition from an ordinary warrior to yellow rank master. Uncle Fu's face suddenly broke into a joyful smile. He had actually become an inner martial arts yellow rank master so easily? This was too fast, wasn't it? However, after Uncle Fu broke through to the yellow rank, Lin Yi could clearly feel that Uncle Fu's body was absorbing energy even faster, and he was even a little overwhelmed. Checking the remaining energy in his body, Lin Yi frowned slightly. Repairing Uncle Fu's meridians had already consumed about a third of his energy. Now, having helped Uncle Fu break through to the yellow rank, Lin Yi's energy was practically depleted. He was almost at the breaking point. What should he do? Should he give up? Lin Yi was unwilling to give up. He wanted to complete the process of training Uncle Fu into a master in one fell swoop. Success depended on this one move. But without energy, how could he continue? That's right. Suddenly, Lin Yi suddenly remembered the process of transferring ki to General Weiwu. After entering the jade pendant space, as long as his external body and Uncle Fu were still in a state of energy transfer, he could practice the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue in the jade pendant space, not only absorbing energy, but also directly transferring it to Uncle Fu. What a fool. Lin Yi almost slapped his forehead and cursed himself for being stupid. Lin Yi quickly closed his eyes and entered the jade pendant space. Because the energy in his body was almost completely gone. After Lin Yi entered the jade pendant space, he didn't bother to talk to Elder Jiao anymore. He continued to rapidly practice the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue. As the energy in the jade pendant space poured into Lin Yi's body, it also continuously poured into Uncle Fu's body. The speed was obviously much faster than before. This was because the energy in the jade pendant space was far greater than the energy in Lin Yi's body. Chapter 1023, Puzzled. At this moment, Lin Yi's body acted like a transit station, transferring the energy from the jade pendant space into Uncle Fu's. However, although Lin Yi absorbed the energy quickly, it didn't stay within him. Instead, it flowed continuously into Uncle Fu's body. Uncle Fu's body was like a bottomless pit, constantly devouring the energy Lin Yi sent to him. Of course, Lin Yi wasn't overly surprised. Even the mighty general needed a lot of energy, let alone Uncle Fu's size. Although there was a look of surprise on Uncle Fu's face, it soon turned to astonishment. He had originally thought that Lin Yi would stop after providing some energy as a foundation. After all, as the saying goes, a master leads the way, but the practice is up to the individual. Uncle Fu planned to rely on himself for future cultivation. He hadn't expected Lin Yi to provide him with a continuous supply of energy. But the situation now seemed different. Lin Yi's energy continued to flow in, showing no signs of stopping. This astonished Uncle Fu. Could Lin Yi hold on? Uncle Fu felt he was about to reach the peak of the early yellow rank. This leveling speed was probably unprecedented, wasn't it? Except for General Mighty. Thinking of General Mighty, Uncle Fu truly admired Chu Pengzhan. Where had Mr. Chu found someone as ruthless as Lin Yi? That was incredible, creating a master from the comfort of his own home. Uncle Fu didn't know Lin Yi's true identity or which powerful sect he came from, but the fact that he could create a master from the comfort of his own home showed he was no ordinary person. At the very least, Lin Yi's background must be as strong as his own sect, perhaps even stronger. At this thought, Uncle Fu's eyes grew heated. Revenge wasn't out of the question. But Lin Yi probably wouldn't intervene. He'd have to work hard on his own then. Boom! Without warning, Uncle Fu broke through again. From the peak of the early yellow rank, he instantly reached the middle yellow rank. Uncle Fu couldn't help but gasp in amazement at this level of advancement. It was too fast. Back then, it had taken him years to advance from the early to the middle yellow rank, but how long had it been? Only 3 hours, maybe? He had gone from an ordinary person to a middle yellow rank expert. Thinking of those who practiced diligently, even for a lifetime, yet still couldn't improve their strength, Uncle Fu couldn't help but feel a little sad. Comparing people is truly a deadly process. For some, even reaching the peak of the early yellow rank, let alone the early yellow rank, requires an arduous process of practice. Yet, Uncle Fu had effortlessly broken through in a matter of hours. Uncle Fu's arrival at the middle yellow rank had caused Lin Yi much trouble. The energy required for Uncle Fu's advancement was clearly far greater than that of General Weiwu. Lin Yi felt like his body was like a sieve, as energy whizzed through him without stopping, straining his meridians with a sheer volume of energy. But in order to create an Earth rank expert, Lin Yi endured it. If this succeeded, it would be a historic breakthrough. Who would have thought he'd actually created a killer move for an Earth rank master? Just thinking about it made Lin Yi feel incredibly excited. As time passed, the energy Uncle Fu absorbed into his body continued to surge. Hours passed, and Uncle Fu ascended from mid-yellow rank to peak yellow rank. Then, imaginably, another breakthrough. As the sky outside began to turn pale, Uncle Fu had already reached the strength of the late yellow rank. Just a few days ago, Uncle Fu dejectedly believed he was ruined, his painstakingly cultivated peak yellow rank strength gone. But now, not only was he on the verge of peak yellow rank once again, but he was also on the verge of achieving it with his inner cultivation, surpassing even that of his outer cultivation. Uncle Fu was happily enjoying the thrill of his level up, but Lin Yi wasn't having it so easy. After all, the massive amount of energy coursing through Lin Yi's body gave him a sense of struggling to hold on. Keep going. He must keep going. Lin Yi gritted his teeth and continued silently practicing the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue, allowing the energy within his body to continue flowing into Uncle Fu's body. Finally, Uncle Fu's strength was approaching the peak of the late yellow rank. A hint of a smile crossed Lin Yi's lips. He was about to complete a major level leap, which made him inexplicably excited. Lin Yi could clearly feel the changes in Uncle Fu's strength level, and as Uncle Fu's strength increased, Lin Yi was extremely excited. The moment to witness a miracle was about to come. Under the powerful infusion of Lin Yi's energy, Uncle Fu's strength finally broke through to the peak of the late yellow rank. Lin Yi's face showed a slight smile of joy. In just a few hours, Uncle Fu had gone from an ordinary person to a master at the peak of the late yellow rank. It was faster than flying. It seemed that he still needed to work harder. Uncle Fu would soon become a master of the Zhuan rank. The peak of the late yellow rank and the early Zhuan rank were only a step away. Thinking of this, Lin Yi practiced the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue even more vigorously, rapidly pouring energy into Uncle Fu's body. But then, something strange happened. The energy Lin Yi was sending into Uncle Fu's body suddenly stopped, just like filling up the gas tank of a car and suddenly the gun stopped. Although Lin Yi's Xuanyuan Yulong Jue didn't stop, the energy could no longer pass through his body into Uncle Fu's body. Instead, it was absorbed by Lin Yi's own body. What was going on? Lin Yi couldn't help but frown. He was sure that his hand was still on Uncle Fu's body. Logically, this kind of interruption shouldn't happen, but it happened. Lin Yi stopped the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue, and the energy in the jade pendant space suddenly stopped flowing into Lin Yi's body. After resting for a while, Lin Yi started the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue again, hoping to transfer the energy through his body to Uncle Fu, but Lin Yi found helplessly that the energy was still being absorbed into his body instead of being transferred to Uncle Fu. Seeing the current situation, Lin Yi returned to reality from the jade pendant space somewhat helplessly. After all, Lin Yi could no longer input energy into Uncle Fu. Uncle Fu's strength could only remain at the peak of the late yellow level. This was also something that puzzled Lin Yi. Chapter 1024 Reasonable. Uncle Fu felt the energy within him stagnate, but seeing that Lin Yi didn't open his eyes, he didn't know what Lin Yi was doing, and he didn't dare disturb him. Although he had 1,000 words in his mind, he kept them to himself for the time being. But when Lin Yi finally opened his eyes, Uncle Fu quickly said, "Xiao Yi, you've given me so much of your energy. Your strength, I'm fine." Lin Yi shook his head. "I don't know what happened. I'm stuck at the peak of the late yellow rank. I can't transfer my energy to you anymore." Peak of the late yellow rank? That's the same level of external strength I had before I got injured. I'm already quite satisfied. Even if I can't improve any further, it doesn't matter. At least I can continue my cultivation. This is far stronger than I expected, Uncle Fu said gratefully and sincerely. "Xiao Yi, thank you so much, but you're clearly an Earth rank expert. I want you to reach Earth rank, peak of the late yellow rank." "That's not the end point." Lin Yi waved his hand, only smiling slightly at Uncle Fu's gratitude, still a little puzzled. Uncle Fu was almost stunned after hearing what Lin Yi said. Lin Yi was too bold, wasn't he? An Earth rank master? Lin Yi wanted to restore himself to become an Earth rank master? This was something Uncle Fu couldn't even think about. Lin Yi was so crazy. "What's wrong?" Uncle Fu's scream brought Lin Yi back to reality. "Nothing." Uncle Fu shook his head. "Xiao Yi, you really dare to think too much? An Earth rank master can't be created just by saying so. You gave me all your true energy. What will you do? Even if you gave it all to me, you are only at the middle stage of the profound realm. How can you create an Earth rank master, my strength?" Lin Yi smiled bitterly. His situation was rather special, and it was really difficult to explain to Uncle Fu. The energy in his body was not actually his own energy, but came from the jade pendant space. The energy there was endless. Not to mention an Earth rank master, even 10 Earth rank masters would be enough. But Lin Yi couldn't understand why, while transferring energy to Uncle Fu, it suddenly froze at the peak of the late yellow rank. Xiao Yi, reaching the peak of the late yellow rank was already a great achievement, and I'm already very satisfied. Uncle Fu, seeing Lin Yi's dedication, couldn't help but feel even more grateful. After all, I used to specialize in internal cultivation, so I can continue my own cultivation. I was able to break through to the Earth rank before, so maybe I can now. Lin Yi sighed. Uncle Fu was right, but Lin Yi couldn't wait to have an Earth rank expert as his bodyguard. Uncle Fu's stagnation left Lin Yi feeling somewhat frustrated. After all, power was clearly within his grasp, yet it had inexplicably stalled. How could Lin Yi not be disappointed? Especially when all the conditions were in place. Lin Yi had the energy he needed, and he had it all, ready to continuously transfer it to Uncle Fu. Why had it been stuck? This was a question that puzzled Lin Yi. Uncle Fu, what did you feel when your ki stagnated earlier? Lin Yi asked after a moment's hesitation. Uncle Fu pondered for a moment, then raised his head and said to Lin Yi, I didn't feel anything special. I just felt that the ki flowing from you suddenly stopped. This, Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Uncle Fu's words were basically the same as not saying anything. Lin Yi still couldn't figure out what went wrong. Xiao Yi, you'd better not worry about me. Focus on your own strength. Uncle Fu looked at Lin Yi with some concern. You seem to have dropped a level now. I'm fine. Could it be? Lin Yi was suddenly shocked. Could it be that he had no energy in his body? The energy of the jade pendant alone was not enough for Uncle Fu to make further breakthroughs? He needed the energy in his body to assist. Although this guess was a bit far-fetched, it was the only possibility that Lin Yi could think of at the moment. Because, apart from this, he couldn't think of any other problem. Now it was as if everything was ready, only the east wind was missing. Thinking of this, Lin Yi quickly took action. Uncle Fu, I'm going to rest for a while and recover my strength. You should adjust yourself first. Lin Yi said nothing more. He needed to recover his strength as quickly as possible. That way, he could determine if it was his lack of energy that was preventing Uncle Fu from making further breakthroughs. Okay, Xiao Yi, you should go and rest. Uncle Fu nodded and said quickly. Lin Yi said nothing more, turned and left Uncle Fu's room, quickly heading for his own. Missy and Xiaoshu had already gone to bed. Lin Yi went to treat Uncle Fu's injuries every night, so they were not surprised. After Lin Yi returned to his room, he quickly entered the jade pendant space and seized every moment to restore his lost energy. Now that daylight had broken outside, Lin Yi had to seize every minute and every second to practice. In a blink of an eye, the sun was high in the sky, and it was already noon. Uncle Fu had already dropped Chu Mengyao and Shen Yashu off at school. Although they were a little surprised that Lin Yi hadn't gotten up, he explained that he had used up a lot of ki healing them and needed to rest. So Chu Mengyao and Shen Yashu didn't ask any more questions after hearing this. After Uncle Fu dropped them off at school, he hurried back home. He was worried about Lin Yi being home alone. Although the mighty general was waiting, Uncle Fu had to stay by his side to feel at ease. With a click, the door to Lin Yi's room opened, and Lin Yi walked out. Uncle Fu, who had been waiting anxiously on the sofa, heard the sound and quickly stood up. Seeing Lin Yi coming out, he asked hurriedly, Xiao Yi, what's wrong? I'm fine, my strength is back. Lin Yi said this, feeling a little regretful. After this recovery, he still remained at the middle stage of the Xuan level. It seemed that not every loss of energy would lead to an increase in strength. The previous strength increases were also due to his cultivation. The energy in his body had almost accumulated after a period of practice. He had already reached the barrier to the next level. So after losing energy, he once again absorbed energy in one go, breaking through the barrier and creating a momentary breakthrough. But now, Lin Yi had just broken through to the middle stage of the Xuan level a few days ago, and during these few days he had been using his true ki to heal Uncle Fu's injuries. He had to recover his lost energy every day and had not practiced on his own at all. So it was understandable that he did not break through this time. Chapter 1025 Helpless Result. Even so, Lin Yi was still somewhat disappointed. Previously, Lin Yi had even considered constantly channeling energy out, then cultivating it back in order to quickly level up, but now it seemed like such a foolish idea. Destruction followed by restoration was indeed an aid to Lin Yi's leveling, but it was only an aid. Without reaching the next level's barrier, even if he dispersed and restored his energy 100 times, he wouldn't be able to level up. This kind of opportunistic trickery was definitely not advisable. Thinking about it, Lin Yi found it laughable. This idea was too foolish. If it really worked, wouldn't he be able to reach the heavenly rank quickly? Apparently, reaching the heavenly rank couldn't be achieved so easily. Recovered, Uncle Fu gasped. Uncle Fu knew exactly how much Qi Lin Yi had channeled into him. Not only had he repaired his meridians, but he had instantly transformed him from an ordinary person into peak-level expert at the late yellow rank. How much energy did that require? Even if Lin Yi's level didn't drop to the broken profound rank, he would undoubtedly be extremely weak. And yet, how could Lin Yi recover so quickly? But thinking about Lin Yi's previous shocking feat, Uncle Fu could only respond with a wry smile. Lin Yi wasn't someone who could be judged by common sense. Uncle Fu, now that my strength has returned, let's do another experiment to see if we can help you break through, Lin Yi said. A test? You've only just recovered your strength? How can that be possible? Uncle Fu looked at Lin Yi in surprise. He hadn't expected him to continue helping him recover after just recovering his strength. I must do a test, Lin Yi nodded firmly. He wasn't in the habit of giving up halfway, so once he made a decision, he had to follow through. Well, all right then. Uncle Fu could only nod when he saw Lin Yi's determination, and said, it seems that I have no choice but to agree. Then I'll trouble you. Lin Yi shook his head and said with a smile, what's the trouble? In fact, I just hope to have an Earth-level master to help me, so that the Yu family and the Xiao family won't be a threat. Haha, Uncle Fu couldn't help laughing after hearing what Lin Yi said. Yeah, when I was at my peak, the Yu family and the Xiao family were nothing. Just a family in the secular world. They are nothing now. I'm just a little worried about the hidden family behind the Yu family, Lin Yi said. Hidden family, yes, although Uncle Fu didn't say anything, there was obviously a hint of pride in his words. When Uncle Fu was young, he should have been a figure who could be on par with the hidden family, right? Lin Yi placed his hand on Uncle Fu again and said in a deep voice, Uncle Fu, it's about to begin. Please be prepared. Okay, I got it. Uncle Fu's smile faded, replaced by a solemn expression. Although he didn't want Lin Yi to waste his ki on him again, he was also eager to achieve another breakthrough. Lin Yi activated the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue, preparing to transform the energy in his body into ki and transfer it to Uncle Fu's body. However, something strange happened again. The ki flowed through Lin Yi's body, but it showed no sign of flowing into Uncle Fu's body. Uncle Fu, have you activated your own mental formula? This situation surprised Lin Yi, and he asked. Yes, it's working, Uncle Fu nodded. Has it not started yet? I'll try again. Lin Yi frowned and continued to activate the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue, but the situation remained the same. His ki could not be transferred to Uncle Fu through his hands. It was as if Uncle Fu simply didn't need his ki and couldn't draw it from his body. This was exactly the same as yesterday. Lin Yi's true energy was useless to Uncle Fu. Half an hour passed. Although Lin Yi's true energy had not been consumed at all, he was exhausted and his face was flushed, and he was sweating profusely. Uncle Fu was not at ease either. Because of cultivation and anxiety, he was also sweating. Lin Yi let out a long sigh of reluctance, but at this moment, he had to give up. He had no way to send the true energy into Uncle Fu's body. If it doesn't work, give up. I can practice on my own, and there will be no problem, Uncle Fu said hurriedly when he saw Lin Yi's tired look. But Lin Yi was unwilling, really unwilling. Could it be that the internal martial arts that Uncle Fu practiced was different from his own? But even if it was different, wasn't his internal martial arts omnipotent? Why did it suddenly stop working? Lin Yi stood up, preparing to stretch his numb body. He stumbled upon General Weiwu, his expression shifting slightly as he called out, General Weiwu, come here, woof woof. Ever since Lin Yi had trained General Weiwu to become a master, he had grown extremely close to Lin Yi. Whenever Lin Yi called him, he'd happily run over and leap into his arms. Lin Yi thought, if Uncle Fu's internal martial arts techniques differed from his own, then General Weiwu and he were considered fellow disciples. So, Lin Yi decided to see if he could improve General Weiwu's strength. He embraced General Weiwu and activated the Xuanyuan dragon taming technique. To his disappointment, Only a weak amount of energy entered General Weiwu's body. The next thing he saw was exactly the same as what had happened to Uncle Fu. The energy transfer abruptly stopped. Lin Yi couldn't transfer even a single bit of energy to General Weiwu. General Weiwu was still at the peak of the late yellow rank. The little energy he had previously inputted was likely merely a replacement for General Mighty's previous energy expenditure. General Mighty had likely used up some of his energy against Ubide, but General Mighty didn't know how to cultivate or recover on his own. Once his energy was used up, it was gone, and he had to rely on Lin Yi to replenish it. However, even after replenishing it, it was impossible to input more energy. Lin Yi couldn't help but fall into deep thought again. General Mighty was also like this, unable to make further breakthroughs. What could be the reason? Zai, peak late yellow rank strength is not bad, Uncle Fu quickly soothed Lin Yi, noticing the disappointment on his face. Haha, I know, Lin Yi sighed, saying, Uncle Fu, go ahead and do your work. I'm going to school. At this point, Lin Yi had no choice but to give up. It seemed he had been too naive, believing his energy was omnipotent and could mass-produce experts. Indeed, he had produced experts, but their strength was stuck at peak late yellow rank. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone, see you in the next video.